Medic Court, welcome in. Where Fami, welcome in. How you guys doing? Welcome in, everybody. We're going to get started in just 1 minute. So thank you for your patience. Thank you, everybody, for being here. If you would be so kind as to share the live, I would appreciate it. How's everybody doing today? Hope everybody's doing well on this Saturday night. We're going to get a board up real quick. Just give me 1 second, please. Board under review. What? Give me 1 second. We're going to get our board up, okay? And that light is really freaking bright. There we go. Is that better? I think that's way better. All right, let's see. Welcome in, Sean. How you doing? Give me 1 second here. I'm going to thank you for sharing the live. We just got to get a board up real quick, and then we'll start rocking and rolling, okay? Where are we at here? What the heck, man? Where is our board? Where is our board? Let's see where it's at. All right, there's our board. Edit. Board number 2. No, we're going to throw up a board real quick. So thank you for your patience, everybody. We're going to start bringing up people in a minute here. Here we go. Here's the board. No, that's not the board. Why did I make this so difficult? Settings. No. All right. Where is our board? There we go. I want this one. Bam! There we go. Much better. We got that. Now, I just need to find our board, and then we'll be ready to rock and roll. No, we don't need a background. There we go. And we do have people up. Okay. Let's see. Live. Hello. All right, everyone. Can everybody hear me okay? On YouTube, X, and Facebook, hello. Welcome in. I'm glad you're here. Can everybody hear me okay? I don't like the updates. I never really do like updates. But anyways, hello everybody. My name is Vince with Truckers Unite Now. I am an American commercial truck driver. We are here today to talk about all things trucking related, all things commercial trucking related. So if you have any issues in the trucking industry that you would like to talk about, we're going to do 3-minute sessions with people. Kate, I'll bring you up here in just 1 minute. So we are trucking advocates. We are sponsored by We the Truckers. If you guys have not been to this website yet, I highly encourage you to go check out We the Truckers. There's a lot of trucking advocates on there, a lot of bills being passed. There's so much to do. Plan B, welcome in. I'm glad you're here. So what we're doing today is we are going to bring people up, and we are going to ask people, what are the 3 things you would like to get fixed in the trucking industry? We're going to be trying to burn through people really, really fast. So I appreciate your patience. I'm not trying to be rude to anybody, but we're trying to get through as many drivers as we can. We're writing things down, and we're going to be having facts for the day. So today's fact for the day, thank you, Wild Child. I appreciate you. Today's fact, okay, every 5 to 10 minutes, we're going to have a trucking fact for you guys. We have a lot of facts here that a good partner of mine found. It's not just me. Again, it's a team, right? This is a team effort of truck drivers trying to rescue the very broken trucking industry that we have. So first truth of the day. Here we go. The United States trucking industry accounts for over 80, that's right, 80% of the nation's freight bills. 80%. Is that insane? That's insane. All right. Over on YouTube, let me read a comment already. Wow, a lot of people on YouTube. Welcome in, everybody. So we're live right here on YouTube, X, and Facebook. Thank you for being here. Really appreciate you. And we're live on TikTok over here. So if anybody wants to jump back and forth to different platforms, hey, it's a free country, right? So Leanne, welcome in. Thanks for being here. Let's see, trucking history. Wild Child says trucking history. Hello, hello, hello. Trucking history. Are you there? Come in, come in. Breaker 19 trucking history. Are you there? Let's get ourselves some coffee. We have a great show for you guys tonight, so stay tuned. If you can share the live, I'd really appreciate it. As a matter of fact, I'm going to share it right now too. So I just learned something on TikTok in particular. I don't know if you can do this on YouTube, Facebook, or X, but what you do is you hold down the screen and a bunch of your besties come up. You hit send to each one, and it sends it to all of their friends as well. So you can really make a live blow up. So yeah, if you guys want to do that, again, you go to the center of the screen, like where my face is. You hold it down, and then you send it to all your besties. Your besties are the people either you talk a lot with, or they can also be you look at a lot of their videos. So I'm literally sending it to all of my besties right now. I've sent it to about 30 people. Let's see. So just give me a sec here. Thank you guys so much for being here. It is a Saturday. I'm on my 34-hour break. I hope you're all doing well. Okay, that's all I'm going to do. Oh man, look at that. Thank you for sharing the live. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. All right, let's see if we can bring up some drivers. So I'm going to read one thing on YouTube. Man, I need to get a bigger screen. Hands yellow heart. Okay, I don't know what that means, Van Dyke. Explain a little better what you mean by that comment. I don't know what you mean by it. Anyhow, all right, let's bring up Kate. Kate, welcome in, welcome in. There she is.
Oh, hey.
Hey, how you doing?
How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm in Winnemucca.
Oh wow, okay.
Winnemucca doing my 34.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Delivered to
I
Dobbins. I've never heard of Dobbins, California. I've never heard of that.
Dobbins. No, I don't think I have, but
Dobbins. Like I'm going to a water treatment.
Yeah, I own 3 acres where you're at.
Facility above Yuba City. It's like
Nice, nice.
kidding.
No, I'm
In
not
Winnemucca?
kidding. Yeah, in Winnemucca, I own 3 acres of just bare land out there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Yep, yep. Good old
Oh,
Winnemucca.
right on.
I know. I know. It's
Love
a
it.
it's a good place.
It's great.
Go ahead.
My dog loves the cemetery. I can like let it run around. It's really cute.
Nice,
Did you
nice.
say you're delivering at a water treatment plant?
What's that now?
Did you say you were delivering at a water treatment plant?
Yeah, in Dobbins, California,
Nice.
above Yuba City.
I got a fun fact for you. Did you know that the water treatment plants actually come out of our infrastructure to pay for it? So, like our roads, all our taxes that we pay, that's part of one of our taxes that it goes to. So, like the fuel tax that we pay at the pump, that's 18 cents for gas guys, 4-wheelers, and then it's 23 cents a gallon that we pay for diesel, and that actually helps to go pay for water, sewer, the whole 9 yards. What's your thought on some of our money that's supposed to help build our roads and our infrastructure going to that direction?
What is my thought? My first thought is, the appropriation of taxpayer dollars in general in California are sort of misappropriated. So, I don't want to go down a political road right now in terms of that, but, we've got, housing, billions of dollars. I live in California, I live in Northern California and Sonoma County, and we pay a lot of taxes. And I just get bummed out, that Gavin Newsom is, really not paying very much attention, and there's no news about the misappropriation of taxes, like for the homeless and the rail that was, never finished. I mean, it's like, why am I paying my taxes? It makes me very angry. I don't want to talk about it, but anyway, I'm going to deliver some product to a water treatment facility above Yuba City in Dobbins, California. And my concern is the road to get there. I'm trying to figure out.
Oh,
This
no.
doesn't look truck friendly, but anyway. Yeah, I'm flatbed, and I'm just like, oh my God, this does not look cool. It looks like 10 miles of like single lane road. If somebody's coming up the road, am I going to be able to? Yeah, that kind of deal.
A lot of those
Anyway.
roads east of
sorry.
Yuba City
Yeah.
can be dangerous. Yeah, they're not truck friendly, so be careful.
It's up Marysville Road is what it is. Yeah, anyway, that's Tuesday. What are you doing for Easter?
You're looking at it.
Are you okay?
Yeah,
I figured.
no, my family, they're
You
going
know?
to church, obviously, and they're going to a friend's house for dinner. But I spent 5 weeks with my dad. My dad's really sick right now, so I spent 5 weeks with him, just helping him with the house and bills and organizing things, and so those 5 weeks off really hit me. So I gotta be out here for at least a month and just make a bunch of money to make up for that lost time. That I couldn't even afford to take that time off. But he's sick and he has 3 to 6 months. So it's like, what do you do? So
Yeah,
yeah.
I hear you, brother. I mean, I lost my mother like 3 years ago, and I had to work, nights for FedEx to be able to afford to pay for her memory care facility in Menlo Park, California, which is, $8,000 a year or a month.
Right.
It was just insane between my sister and me. It was just like, God, I wish I could have been able to, bring her home and take care of her myself. But,
Yeah.
didn't work out that way. So we just had to pay for it. So anyway, I want to get off. I just wanted to say hello.
Well, hello.
Before you jump off,
Go ahead. Yep, you got it.
before you jump off, if you had to fix 3 things in the industry, what would it be?
Myself, I would say the biggest thing that I feel, and I heard Sean Duffy talking about, safety, and he's got his buddy that works for the FMCSA. I can't remember what his name is.
Derek Bars.
But he's been in the industry for a while, the guy.
Derek Bars.
Yes. Right. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, so Sean Duffy's talking about safety and, people have been talking about all of this rate, stagnation and everything. And I think that Sean Duffy is not calling out the dude. He's like acting like he's his brother. He's like, oh, I've got a small amount of money. I don't have, enough lawyers in my department. So we're going to reach out. We're going to start, trying to, make things better. This guy, who's the head of the FMCSA, is in bed with the large carriers. And I think there's money involved. And I think that it's really important for the truckers to really call them out on, it's not just about the safety of the drivers and the illegal immigrants, like crashing trucks and stuff like that. It's really about, it's about transparency. And adjust pay, right? I mean, it's like there would be no shortage of truckers if we were making the same money that they were making in the 70s and 80s, right? We need to get the money back. The illegal immigrants basically sagged wages for the truck driver. He's talking about spot. What do you call it? Spot.
Spot market.
Off rate, where you just jump into an area. Yep.
Yeah,
It's basically going to a spot and then you're booking for a load when you get there. That's
we need to get the money back up to adjust for, since the 1970s. And that's what I'm talking about.
Okay, so money. That's one thing you would fix. Money?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, we need two more.
Very important. Very important.
Yes.
Two more for me.
Two more for you, yeah.
Okay, safety. Okay, safety. I think that whoever invented these electronic logs, I think it's really important to understand that, if you're coming through Tennessee on the 40, you can see all these signs that say no parking on the off ramps, but yet they don't have any parking, right? There's no parking. No parking. I mean, I don't care if you just build, you don't have to do an official truck stop. Maybe you can do like a sandbar outside of the, off this, if you're going to give us these regulations with the ELDs, you need to give us, something that says, okay, so I'm at my 11-hour and I'm in Laramie, Wyoming, for instance. There's no truck parking, or I'm in, Tennessee. There's no truck parking. So you need to have some sort of lenience that gives you, a place, the time to get to a safe, like, I live in the Bay Area, North Bay area, right? So, if you're going into LA and you're at the end of your clock, you either park in Fraser Park. You don't get to park in Castaic because there's never parking there. There's no parking in LA. They want their freight. There's no parking. So give us leniency and don't act like we're criminals if we go over our 11-hour truck because we have no place to park. Give
That's
us
right.
a fucking break. That pisses me off. Absolutely. And that's a big deal, right? Parking, right? Your ELDs, they act like, you got into a car accident if you go over your 11-hour. It's ridiculous.
That's because we're so strong. That's why they mess with us.
The other thing, and then the other day I was carrying oversize, right? And I was coming from Utah into Wyoming at Evanston at the port of entry. And I loaded in Red Bluff these beams, these 60-foot beams. And crazy. So, so I have a 40-foot, 48-foot flatbed trailer. And because I have one of those pogo sticks for the air, right? I couldn't, push. The beams were 60 foot. I have a 48-foot trailer. I couldn't go over 10 feet in the back, right? So anyway, so I do the two lower tiers front, and the top tiers, I shifted them. So I got turned around. I basically they told me I had to bring a forklift out there and shift my load because I was 1 foot over on divisible. I'm like, okay, so this oversized stuff is really like critical. It was so minutia. Like the fact that they tried to do that was like I had to actually turn around and go over the 70, go back into Salt Lake, go down to Spanish Fork at the 6, and then over the 70 because of 1 foot of divisible load, which was not on my permit. Like, are you kidding me?
Wow, talk about cortisol.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
No stress there.
We said 3 things that that we'd like to fix in the industry. What's the number one thing? What got you into trucking? Like, what would you tell a person that was getting it? Like, what helped you live the lifestyle?
Okay, so when I got into trucking later in life, and I was interested in, I've always been a driver. I mean, I was in real estate. I was in landscape construction. I had many things going on in my life, and I got into trucking because I love to drive. It's a thing. Um, the freedom, the checking out the country, and all of that. What I find very interesting is that we are the least regulated industry since, I don't know, what do you call it?
Deregulation.
Since the
Yeah,
deregulation.
what do you call it? Larry versus Flint or whatever. Yeah.
Jimmy Carter days.
Truckers could not. Yeah, truckers could not strike. Right? There's no, and you look at who's which companies are unionized. It's only like 4 or 5.
I think like FedEx, UPS. Yeah. Yeah.
No, FedEx isn't. Like, I actually worked for FedEx for a minute, and they had me go into like a room and watch all these videos about how unions are bad, right? And then there was one unionized yard in Stockton, California, and they actually had their rates lowered. So they got punished because they were unionized by FedEx. FedEx is terrible. But, yeah, I mean, I don't know about unions. I don't know. But all I know is that as a company driver, like I've never been an owner operator. It's really interesting, like how you don't get represented by like the basic labor laws. You know what I mean?
It's
like
all by design, Kate. It's all by design.
Right. Like, I just want to give you, I'm not going to stay on for too long, but I just want to give you an instance, right? So, if you're a local driver, run an LTL, right? Less than load, right? In California, you do like 5 drops. You get paid an hourly wage, right? So when I worked for a certain company and it was supposed to be over the road and they were giving me short runs, but they were doing like lots of drops. So you're spending a lot of time strapping, unstrapping. So basically it amounted to about 40 to 50 hours a month that I wasn't getting paid for. And
Wow.
that's the kind of thing I'm talking about for, company drivers, right? It's like, I don't know. I get tired talking about it, but the company I'm working for now, it's, local to where I live in Northern California, and they're small. I'm getting paid well, but when they start giving me these like, 3 pickups, 4, drop offs, you're going to have to pay me for the time that I'm spending. It's not like you're driving a car, every time you go to uh, a customer, it's, you're in a semi. It takes a while.
Right.
And a lot of these companies are like, you only get paid, on duty, not driving after 2 hours. But if you unload them and reload them every day and you're just under 2 hours, that's 40 to 50 hours a month you're not getting paid for.
That's right.
And it pisses me off. So, anyway, I don't want to keep on because I know most of you guys are owner operators. You got, if you're talking about like other things, but I didn't want to go that route because I don't want to deal with brokers. But I think excuse me. The other thing is broker transparency. I think that's a big deal. I think brokers need to be transparent about what they're paying. It seems like that's probably a big deal, according to Derek. Am I right, Derek?
Well, I think transparency should be all the way across the board. So, I mean, for example, like the brokers should be transparent to what we're getting. I think how they're spending our dollars that we're spending at the pump, or all our taxes, the toll roads, like the whole 9 yards.
Right.
I think it all should go in one trust fund. It should be managed. We should know, as the people that are putting the money into it, we should know where it's going, right? So you can So I've been doing a lot of research, and I can dig and dig and dig, and I can see it go from like one hand to another hand to another hand, and then it just like disappears. So we don't even know exactly what it's all being spent on. So I think when people say transparency, I think across the board, everything transparency. You know, not just the broker. I mean, even the driver, to the driver, to the carrier. So like, if I'm not transparency to the carrier saying, hey, I'm running a shady business, right? I think that transparency should be up front and saying, hey, you know, I want to do your load, but I got 10 trucks and they're all different companies. So I think transparency, a lot of people kind of get it.
I didn't even get.
If people say, hey, just get it off the broker, you should go across the board.
That's right. Well, we're going to get to some more drivers. Kate,
Think about that, right? Because
Kate, thank you so much for coming in. We're going to get to some other drivers now, okay? Thank you, Kate. Drive safe. We love you.
thanks, Tara. Take care. Love you too.
Later. All right, next up we have Elizabeth. Elizabeth, what are your 3 trucking gripes that you would fix if you could? What do you got?
3 trucking gripes. First, to make owners of companies accountable for when they hurt truckers in a worse way. Second would be with like the tolls and whatnot, you know, make it easier for truckers with the tolls and, you know, not put so much on them. And then third would be, like she said, transparency and accountability with the brokers. That's the biggest thing, would be to hold the brokers accountable for what they do and be transparent about stuff with the truckers.
That's right.
And the companies.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
Yes. For sure.
They need to be held. They need to be held accountable. They absolutely need to be held accountable.
That's right. Everything again is against the driver. Yeah, everything's against the driver by design. It's getting old. It's time for a change. It's definitely time for a change. Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's right. How are you guys doing?
I agree. Things should be. We are doing good. Hopefully next week, by the grace of God, that my husband hopefully will be to work. That's what we're waiting. Just be. So that's what we're waiting on. He's very much looking forward to going back on the road and being who he is. So
sweet. Yeah.
And we've been taking advice that you guys gave. We hear everything you guys said. We had to talk about it, and you guys are right about some of the things. But like I said, he just wants to get back on the road and just support his family. That's the biggest thing, Dan.
Right.
Family is everything, Dan.
That's right.
That's good hearing. I can't wait. I got my fingers crossed, and I'll say a special prayer for you guys to hopefully get him out on the road and get him making that money. That's what and the freedom, you know. That's
Yeah.
I know what it's like being out of a truck for a little while, and I'm just like, I gotta go see what the rest of the country's doing, you know. I want to see what the new technology is out here, and so when you're sitting at home, I know how that's. I tell the wife, I'm like, hey, I'm starting to itch. I got to go. You know, I said, you can hold the fort down. I got to get out here and see what's going on. So
getting that itch.
That's the way he feels. And I think here's another thing for truckers. I think there should be. I know there's truck stops everywhere and whatnot. I think they should do a little bit more for truckers when it's a truck stop. Maybe give a little more benefits for them. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I mean, like, I know they did, like, they have at the clubs, like my husband did it, like they had the club, like they had free drinks, you know, the sodas and the coffee. I think they just recently stopped that. I'm not sure, but I think I read something somewhere. But, you know, if you see a trucker, just thank them and say, hey, you know, if it wasn't for you guys, we wouldn't have the things we have.
That's right.
Just thank them once in a while for the hard work that they do in their way for the families. Just please do that. Be courteous.
That's right. All right. Well, thanks, Elizabeth.
Holding a door for a trucker is always good. Carry a conversation with them, you know, when they're coming in. I always try to tell, you know, astronauts say Godspeed, right? Truck drivers say safe travel. So if we use safe travel, I guarantee you will get people to open up to you and just be all like, "Hey, you said that to me," you know. And next thing you know is you're having a conversation with them, and it's always a good thing. And opening the door, that's always courtesy to anybody. So, but yeah, I always try to tell everybody to get that back in that habit of saying safe travels, because that's what it's all about. You know, we're out here on this road together, and it takes a team to move the countryside. You know, so we're all in this together. Don't be looking at people and you know, saying that, hey, that this is a different person or that's a different person, because guess what? We're all holding a steering wheel as of right now, anyhow.
That's right. That's
Absolutely.
right.
Well, you guys stay safe out on the roads, safe travels, and thank you for letting me come up and say what I need to say.
No problem. Thanks so much for coming on, Elizabeth. Take care. All right, let's see if I got
Thank
this
you guys.
figured out.
Thank you for the prayers. Do appreciate it.
You're welcome. Bye-bye. Bye. All right. Next up, we got Mike. Mike, how's it going, brother? How are you?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm good. What are your 3 trucking gripes that you would change if you could? The 3 most irritating things to you. What do you got?
Well, I'm a veteran, 40 years. I'm not in the industry anymore. But for as far as the broker situation that they were talking about, there needs to be a deeper dive into that situation, because they do a lot of double brokering, triple brokering.
Mm-hmm.
They go to different, and they're stealing the money from the industry that way. So they need to do a deep dive on that and stop it. And that transparency is a good thing, because if they can look into it, they can stop that and keep people from stealing from the drivers, because that's all they're doing.
Right. Right. That's right.
And
Would you say there could be a law or a rule passed to make that?
there is a law. There is a law in place for the drivers, but a lot of brokers don't adhere to it, and you actually got to pull teeth to get the information from them, because they move stuff around. I mean, it makes it hard for you to get it. It's supposed to take out like 50% on the road, take it. So they need.
You're breaking up pretty bad, Mike.
Already got there. It'd probably be.
And as far as driving, I'm sorry. Can you hear me better?
There we go. Much better.
I got a weak signal out here. As far as the driver's side, they could do better for drivers. You know, the rates could be better for drivers. As much time as they put in, you know, they could pay them better. You know, they're away from home a lot. You know, they miss a lot of family things. You know, it's just a lot. They could do a lot more for the drivers if they wanted to, but most companies are, you know, like everybody else in the world, they're greedy, they're hungry. You know, so it's a situation we have to figure out and deal with.
That's right. That's right. You're breaking up again.
Man, there's no place to stop. When it's time to stop for your 10 hours, there's nowhere to stop. You have to, you know, you have to look around and try to find something. And if you don't, then you got to figure it out quick, you know. And it's just hard for them, you know. There's many trucks on the road, not enough parking. It's hard.
That's right. All right. Well, thanks for coming up, Mike. We appreciate your comments, and you have a great night. Okay. I don't think you can hear me.
You too. Thanks.
All right. I'm following you back too, Mike. I guess I wasn't following
Happy
you.
Easter.
Happy Easter, brother. Happy Easter. All right. If anybody else wants to come up, We're talking to truck drivers. We are burning through drivers today. You don't have to just be a driver. You can be a broker. You can be into insurance. You could be a shipper. Hell, you could be a lumper for all we care. If you are involved in the American trucking industry, we want to hear from you. Let's see. I'll read a few comments. My Truck Spaces says, take them to federal court. What's that?
Even if your dad or your family member was a truck driver and you've seen something that he always said that he wanted some change, come up and feel free to spread the message, spread the word.
That's right. That's right. All right, we got Sam in. Sam, welcome in. How are you?
Hey Vince, how you doing, buddy?
I'm good. I'm good. What's going on with you tonight?
Well, first of all, I love you guys live. Like I love it. It's absolutely amazing. But you already know the thing that drives me crazy is we don't have transparency first. Because we could have transparency. All we got to do to get it is follow the plan. So I'd love it. I would love it if everybody watching tonight would just hit me up so we can talk about what that plan is, because that plan is good. Not maybe, not might, not could. It is going to change it. Not just this. It's going to change the world. We just got to get together. So, man, if you're watching, if you're listening tonight, you need to hit me up, because if you want to be a part of something that's going to change everything, this is the thing.
That's right. That's right. So all of you that are not following Sam, go follow Sam. Sam, anything else?
So they know what they're doing. Sam don't do social media. These guys do social media. I architect plans that make stuff happen.
That's right. That's right.
So Sam, you talk to a lot of drivers, right? What's some of the three things that they ponder on when you're talking to them that they like to see change?
One of the things that I'm hearing a lot about right now is it's not driver training. It's the fact that when a driver gets a new position, they're sold a bill of goods, and what actually happens is not what they were told was going to happen. And so now these companies are losing 50% of the people they're onboarding within 60 days. People don't leave because of pay. They leave because they're not treated like people. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't want to blame the carriers and companies for that either. They don't have a system in place to make sure that drivers get what they need in that first 60 to 90 days. So that's the big push I'm seeing right now, is people that can help that problem, and drivers that are just tired of people assuming they don't want to be a good driver or they don't want to know what they're doing. They want to know those things. Nobody is driving around with 80,000 pounds behind them and doesn't want to be good at it. But we need something in place so that they can be good at it, so that they can be told what to do to be great at their job.
Hey, Sam, I'm going to give you a statistic here on what you're saying is absolutely right. There's about two actual American truck drivers, right, that have been driving since the 70s. Right now, there's 4 million total truck drivers driving around in the USA, with all the immigrants coming over and just the flex of what's happened over the last 5 years. But check this statistic out. Trucking jobs reached about 8.4 million in 2024. So if there's 4 million truck drivers, that means 50% are cycling through different companies constantly. Retention, not a driver shortage, a retention problem. How did we get here?
That's right.
Right?
We got here by playing survival instead of thriving. And we got to survival instead of thriving because this is an industry built on chaos on purpose. Because in a chaotic system, the only people that thrive are the people that are big enough and have deep enough pockets. And that leaves the 92% to just constantly pray they can make it till tomorrow.
That's right. Enough is enough.
Well said. Well said.
Would you like to tell us a little bit about what you got going on, or? or do you want to keep that?
Absolutely. The Trucking
Okay.
Restoration Council has a plan. We are going to change this, and which starts with transparency. We're going to submit petitions from all 435 congressional districts asking the FMCSA to change the transparency rule from now. Guys, I've only been in the industry. I've only been in the industry for 142 days as of today. Okay. When they told me that the transparency rule was, we have to tell you how bad we screwed you after you deliver the load if you ask us. I said, you're on crack. There's no way that's what the rule is. That's not a rule. That's who's calling that a rule? That's what? That can't. That's stupid to me. But so since it's so stupid, we're going to ask the FMCSA to correct stupid. Let's go ahead and get transparency beforehand. Because if you're booking a load without knowing the numbers, that is not business negotiation, folks. That is poker. And if you like poker, go play poker. Don't call it a business.
That's right. That's right.
So we're going to ask for that first because that's important. But the point is not transparency, guys. The point is, do you know how many people, Vince, are in the logistics industry?
No, how many? You mean drivers or
20
everybody?
million people.
Wow.
No, the whole industry. It's 20 million people. Do you know what percentage of those people vote? I thought it was a low number. You know what the actual numbers are?
What is it?
55 to 65% of 20 million people vote.
Wow.
What
Wow.
if they voted based on the interest of their industry rather than partisan and slogans and sound bites and who's got freaking orange hair? What if they voted on that?
It'd be over. That's what I've been told. If truck drivers actually voted, it'd be over.
And see, they do vote. It's just they don't vote based on their best interest.
That's right. That's right.
What if we change that? What if we moved with one voice? What if we set standards above what we see today? What if we created a culture where people collaborated instead of always just surviving? That's the biggest problem. We spend our lives trying to survive. That's all we know how to do is survive.
Right.
But we get beyond that, okay?
I agree.
We gotta get beyond that. And there's a plan to do it. There is a plan to do it. We just have to implement it.
Okay. How can people reach out to you, Sam?
You can reach out to me here. Also, you can reach me. I'm going to give everybody on this call my phone number. I know that's crazy, but that's what we're going to do. It's 502-912-2503. I'm going to give it to you one more time. I'm going to put it in the chat. 502-912-2503. And if you call me, you'll probably have to leave a voicemail, but that's okay because I'm going to get right back to you. We'll talk about what you can do to get involved in the thing that's going to change everything. And it's not going to change it because we can. It's going to change it because we have to. I don't know if you guys realize, but autonomous trucks are coming. The only people that can stop it is us. We're the only ones who can stop it. And when we talk about, well, I can go find something else to do, you can. But see, there are 3 words in the English language that it should be illegal to put together in sequence, and that is acceptable mortality rate.
Agree.
In my mind, there's not an acceptable mortality rate. There's no amount of profit. There's no amount of corporate growth. There's no amount of margin that makes a single family acceptable to die.
Every life matters.
And autonomous trucking can only create that.
Every life matters. That's right. All right, Samantha, we are going to get to some other drivers, but do you just want to hang out for a minute? Because I'm more interested to hear about the things that you're saying. All right, hang out for a little bit, okay? All right, we're going to get through. Thank you, Samantha. If you're not following Samantha yet, go follow her now. She left her her phone number in the chat. She is putting something very exciting together for all of us. So I'm interested to know more about it, but I want to get through some drivers. We want to get through some drivers. My my truck spaces, welcome in, brother. How are you?
Hey, can you hear me?
I can hear you. What's going on?
Hey, what's up, brother? It's good to be on your live show and see you again. It was good to meet you at the truck show.
Yes, sir. You too. I see you made it home safe.
Oh yeah. I've been home for a while. You know, going back to retention, what you were talking about earlier is a main key factor, and the reason why they don't want the old school drivers is because they don't want to be transparent with the broker laws, with the Title 49 CFR 376.12, which, you know, a driver doesn't, most drivers don't even realize they go to a federal court in their own state and subpoena every single freight bill, which must be one of the same of their phony statement, which I do say that, you know, I don't say that lightly. A lot of people make up phony statements. Anybody could do that.
Right.
And you'll see that your freight bill does not match your statement.
Wow. I didn't know that. So it's public knowledge?
Yeah,
It's
absolutely.
public knowledge. Thank you, Sam, for the follow. Appreciate it.
Well, no, yeah, it's public knowledge on the Title 49 that a lot of the new guys don't know, and a lot of the guys and the girls out there that are driving know, most of them know about Title 49, 376.12, their contract rights, but you know, the newer generation, you know, it all falls into retention. If you put the antitrust laws, the IRS rules about companies forcing you to take a load, not being able to negotiate a load, they can also be held liable for any state and federal taxes and workman's comp of that driver.
Wow.
Yeah. So,
Not bad.
I, I, yeah, I do a lot of posts like you do, and I appreciate what you do just to put the knowledge out there for the drivers. I've taken 2 companies to court and won in
Good.
a federal court.
Right on.
So,
See, we need more drivers like you. We need more carriers, more drivers, more people in general that are doing the right thing, have a moral compass. We need them to step up and do these things. The law, you know, Sean and I were talking earlier about this. What is a law or a rule if nobody's enforcing it? What does it matter? What does it matter what the Constitution is if nobody's using it? If nobody's flexing these things, what does any of it matter?
correct.
Lawless society.
Correct. Yeah, it's a driver's responsibility to utilize these laws and to their advantage and take them to a federal court in their state. And you can go back, you know, even for the ELD that a lot of these companies are forcing you to rent. You are not required to rent or purchase any products or equipment upon entering a lease or contract agreement. You can get all that money back in a federal court just by using that law. Then here's the other thing: when they're found guilty under the private right of action, they will be responsible for any and all attorney fees.
Nice. Nice.
Yes.
Well, that's all we need. We just need, 1% of truckers and carriers to step up and do these things, and it'll make them stop doing it. Shady people will stop running shady businesses once people start standing up for themselves and fighting back and using the laws and regulations that we already have, the rules that we have. We just have to start flexing. That's it. So what are our 3 minutes are up? What are your 3 quick things that you would change in the trucking industry? I think you said transparency was one. What are the other 2?
Well, the other 2, I would make sure that the driver under that Title 49 CFR 370.12 and .11 that gets a copy of the billed freight bill so they can validate their income. And, if any carrier or company is out there listening, I'll challenge you right now on this live. I see you got 12,000 followers. I challenge you. Do you follow the Title 49 CFR 376.12 right all the way 100%? I guarantee you do not.
That's right. That's right.
And I'd like to also thank each and every driver out here that's listening. I'm a driver myself, and I advocate just like Vince does. And it's going to take all of us to make a change. And to make the change, you got to step up, take your company to a federal court, to get a civil attorney and sue them. That's how you're going to change it.
That's right. Well, thanks, brother, for coming up, man. We really appreciate you, and keep up the good fight and come back and see us, okay? We're going to get to some other drivers, all right?
How many years of experience do you have in the industry?
36.
Nice. Hey, well, thanks for your service and putting on that visible cape every day and getting out there and serving the goods that people need in this country. So appreciate your hard work and dedication to it.
Yes, thank you. You too.
Feels good to hear that, doesn't it? Feels good to hear it. So drivers, you see what we're doing here? We're spreading kindness, we're spreading joy. I know that sounds for today's atmosphere, that sounds weird, that sounds strange. I think after the pandemic, it seems like everything just took a crap, right? So we're gonna take a second, everybody mute, and we're gonna have Vince's trucking facts. So give me 1 second here. We're going to give you guys some trucking facts all throughout the live. The United States trucking industry accounts for 80% of the nation's freight bill. In 2024, trucks moved over 11 billion tons of freight. That's right, 11 with a B. Scott, welcome in, brother. How are you? I think you're muted. There you go. Good, man. How are you? What's new?
All right, man. To speak a little further on what my truck space there just said, for anybody that's a lease operator and you're leased to another carrier, you have the right under the FMCSA and the current regulations. You can call the carrier you're leased to. You only have to give them 24 hours notice. And as long as you request an audit during normal business hours, you can request an audit. In other words, they have to have all of the invoices, where they were paid, what the load tenders were for, what they got paid, and what they paid you. They've got to have all that. And you're perfectly within your legal rights to request to see all that. Most guys don't know that. That's a fact.
Yes,
You
sir.
can request to audit.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you for that, Scott. What are your three gripes in the trucking industry? What are the three main things that you would fix if you had the power to snap your fingers today, get them fixed? What would they be?
First of all, now everybody's going to think I'm crazy, and I realize it's never going to happen. But truck drivers are not afforded the same regulations that everybody else is under the Fair Labor Act. We don't get overtime. We don't get any of that. So why do we have to pay federal taxes? We're the ones breaking our backs running this damn country. We're the ones keeping everybody fed by putting it on the shelf.
Amen.
Hang on, Bobby.
Everybody
Hang on.
wants to praise the police and the fire department and the military, and I agree. They deserve praise. But what about the truck drivers? We're out here 24 hours a day, 7 damn days a week. It ain't just a 6-month deployment. It ain't only when a house is on fire. It's 24 damn 7, and we never get any appreciation. We can't even get treated with respect by the damn people we're sharing the road with anymore. I think, by God, there should be no income tax on a truck driver. If you've got a CDL and you're driving a truck for a living, you should not have to pay any state, federal, nothing.
Amen.
Pastime for a Change says truck drivers are not in the Fair Labor Act. Fair Labor Act. He's right, but we should be and we could be if the truckers, if we the truckers wanted to be, we could. We have to unite and we have to fight together and we have to get these things changed. Nobody's going to do it. We have to do it. To heck with the government, to heck with all these officials and all these people. We can do it. There's 2 million strong of us that love this country and love this industry. Go ahead.
But how do I get a sticker?
Uh, if you see me at a truck stop, or
I was just at MATTS. I did not catch up with you at MATTS.
well, I'm sorry to hear that. Let's wrap up. We're going in order here, Bobby. No disrespect, but I gotta get through these other two real quick, okay? See, dang it, he disappeared. Come back. And what was his name? Hold on.
So to finish,
That's okay.
finish
Yeah, you
what
got
I'm
two
saying-
more, Scott. Two more.
As far as finishing what I was saying, everybody's talking about broker transparency, but what good does that do you if it's after the fact? This contract's been signed, the load's been pulled, the rate con's been sent back, or the BOL's been sent back as an invoice. It's too late. It does no good to know what they made off of it. And my question is this: if you actually knew to the penny what you actually really truly needed to be making on every load you pulled, and you got that rate, what do you really care what the broker makes? Why does it matter? It's not hurting you. If you say, well, I need $5.33 a mile, and the broker says done, you're happy. You got what you need to thrive as a company. Do you really care if he made 8? And if he did, are you mad that you didn't get enough? Now who's being greedy? And I'm not
Right.
defending the brokers, but I'm just saying that greed thing goes both ways.
Right,
All
it
you gotta
does.
do is know your numbers to the penny on every load, every time, and shoot for that. And know when you're settling for less, what is that really doing to your bottom line?
Right.
Nobody's ever had a way to know that until now, and that's why we developed lane metrics. It tells you all that. It's forward looking. It's not looking in the rearview mirror. You sit in that seat and do that all day long.
That's right.
It's forward looking. It analyzes every rate based on what you're needing to make as a gross profit for the year, what you're wanting to make as net revenue for yourself and for your company, and it prices every lane you freight instantly.
Where can we find Lane Metrics? Is that on TikTok? Is that online? Lanemetrics.com.
We have Lane Metrics here on TikTok. It's on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. Getting ready to be a press release about it on LinkedIn because we are affiliated with the world's leader in commercial truck routing and data. So when we pull back mileages on a lane, we're telling you to a hundredth of a mile accurate.
That's awesome.
And it's rounded to a hundredth of a mile. So when you think about a hundredth of a mile being rounded up or down to that hundredth, it's actually plus or minus 26.4 feet. The half the length of your damn trailer.
Wow. That's amazing. Thank you so much for creating that. That you're absolutely right. Empowering drivers is where it's at. If we can empower drivers and the stronger, to me, like it's with your family, right? To me, whoever's the weakest link in your group or in your family or in your tribe, that's the person to focus on. All hands on deck, right? Let's help the weakest link because whoever our weakest link is, that weak link is part of our chain. So all 2 million truck drivers, even if there's 1,000 that are super weak, let's strengthen them instead of making fun of them or laughing at them. Let's help them be strong because when they're strong, we're strong. Correct?
Exactly. Knowledge is power. And if you don't have you can be the best truck driver in the world, but if you run out here and get your own truck and lease on to somebody or get your own authority, and you don't understand the business end of this is one of the most complex businesses that you could ever try to get into, especially with no experience running any business. There's been people that's run other kind of businesses and thought they could do a trucking company, and within 2 years they're bankrupt. And they knew business.
That's right.
But then because you can drive a truck, you get out here and think you can run a trucking business, and it's no trying to insult anybody or nothing else, but driving that truck and running that company are two entirely different creatures.
That's
and you
right.
have to know it all about that stuff. The financial end of it will eat you alive, and it's cutthroat competitive. There is no forgiveness.
That's right.
Lots of times when you bid contract rates, it's a penny or a half a penny that separates you from winning and losing a contract. They're that competitive. They don't play.
It's not a
And
game.
as far as the knowledge part of it, this app doesn't just tell you what you need to charge. We walk you through the onboard and explain to you what every number means. Your principal on your truck is taxable. A lot of guys don't know that. Only your depreciation and your interest is deductible. We tell you all this. We walk you through it step by step how to set it up, and then we explain to you the numbers you're seeing. And when you're talking about 196,000 calculations in less than 2 seconds, that's a lot of data to process. And it took a long time for us to figure out how are we going to display this much data to somebody in an easy to understand and interpret manner where they don't have to take 6 months to learn this product and learn this system to figure out what they're even looking at. And we managed to nail it. And it's a beautiful thing. For anybody that's not seen it, I encourage everybody to try it because we went to MATTS and we saw a lot of big name creators off of this app. And we introduced ourselves, we demoed the app for them, and every one of them were blown away. They said, man, you're going to change the industry with this. This is a game changer.
It's awesome. It's awesome. I'm excited to use it. I'm going to be checking it out soon. So I'm excited too. Thank you for creating it. Seriously.
Yes, sir.
You know,
And I
that's
appreciate you giving me the time to speak. And I mean, I'm not just trying to selfishly plug my app.
oh, I know.
What I'm trying to do is help educate this industry because I didn't spend the last 3 years building this for the fun of it.
So if we had more drivers like you,
Save the six.
if we had more business owners and drivers like you, we would change the complete industry. We would change it for the better. This is what we need. We need drivers and we need small business carriers to do something that matters, to strengthen people. That's what people don't understand. So many people, me. I need everything for myself. No, you don't. You need to share. The more you share, the better you'll feel, and the more will come back to you. But people don't believe that. They just want it all for themselves. All that does is hurt people. So thank you for what you've built. We really appreciate it. I'm excited to start it and to try it. And I just wish I could make videos on it and record it, but the company I'm leased to, yeah, I wouldn't be able to do that with real numbers, if you know what I mean. But you and I could personally exchange. I can, right, right. All right, brother. Well, thanks for coming in, man. Go ahead,
Actually,
Tom.
how long you been in the industry? How long you been driving for?
I've been in the industry 32 years.
32 years, man. Thank goodness, brother. Hey, I appreciate your time and the sacrifice that you've done to this industry, and you continue to do with it. You know, a lot of people think, hey, it stops behind the wheel, and this shows you what a person actually can do. He's seen a problem. He said, hey, you know what? I'm gonna fix it and make it better for the rest of the people. You know, your system could be helping my nephew when he's 9 years old right now. When he turns 21, this could help you know, somebody's grandson or granddaughter that comes into this industry with your app. So just know you're paving the way for the future of people that's coming into this industry. So hands down, God bless, and appreciate the sacrifications that you're doing for this company.
Thank you. Yeah, and what we've got so far, that's just the MVP, the minimally viable product to get it out in front of everybody so it can start growing legs. And as soon as it starts gaining followers and gaining users, we've got a whole lot more. If you think this is complex, the way it reverse engineers rates from what you want to net, you haven't seen anything yet. I've got a bookkeeping end that's going to keep all the history and the bookkeeping.
Wow.
At the end of the year, you hit print a few forms and take it to your CPA and you're done.
That's awesome. Well, hey.
Chime in, but how are you doing all this as a owner op? Because I tried to be a owner op and it failed on my end.
Well,
So-
just did. You mean, how am I doing in what part?
Well, literally, the company gave me the truck and said, "Here you go, run." Fuel rates are not like they are now as we speak. Fuel prices. Rate was down, and I'm looking at my paycheck, and I'm like, "Holy shit! This is not working out like it was supposed to be." So I'm like, okay, I gave it a year and a half to go, and yeah, there were some weeks that were great, some weeks that were not. So tell me how you're doing it as a owner op. I mean,
Well, that goes back to the whole purpose of this app. If you would have had this app back when you first started doing that with them, you could have run every one of those lanes, every one of those loads they were giving you. You could have plugged it into this app, and it would have immediately told you if you were making money or losing money and how much.
okay,
It knew exactly.
okay,
Instantly.
I get that, but my company that I was running for would not give me the what do you call it, Raycom. So I had no clue. They said, "Hey, it's paying $1,500." It could have paid $2,300, but they would not give me a Raycom. See what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's a red flag right off the bat.
Did you sign a carrier package, Bobby?
Repeat that, young man.
Did you sign a carrier package?
No.
And they wouldn't give you a Raycon?
Nope.
Yeah, that's really odd. I wouldn't have accepted the load without a Raycon for sure. You never accept the load
Exactly.
ever without a Raycon.
Sounds shady.
I
Sounds shady.
Never, never,
Yeah.
never.
I mean, and I was new to that, being that. But now let me explain my story. He gave me the truck. He literally gave me my truck. I didn't pay 1 red cent for that fucker. And he said, "We're going to make you an owner operator." I said, "Okay, let's see how this is going to work out." I ran 3 weeks. I was already in the red. I'm like, "Yeah, this ain't working out." And he's like, "Oh, yeah, it's working out great." Well, yeah, for you. Not for me.
So you know where the power is, Bobby? You know where the power is? The power lies in you. So what you do is never work for that person again. Go find other people that are that you can align with better, that you can actually make money with. Don't see, the way I look at it is, we all have a very limited time on the earth, right? So everybody thinks, you ask people what's the most valuable thing in the earth, on the earth, right? I ask people that when I first meet them. Hey, what's the most valuable thing on the earth? And you hear it all, right? You hear property, gold, silver, money, things. People say things, right? But the most valuable thing to me is time. Time in and of itself, grandfather time, because we're all going to one day, right? So every load that we do every single day is super important. It's super special. Time is what's important. I'd rather have 20 minutes of your time and drink a cup of coffee with you than I'd rather have money, because that shows me, if you're willing to give me 20 minutes of your time, that's very special to me, because you just gave me a part of your life, literally, right? Like an inheritance.
Exactly.
You get $1 million inheritance from your parents. Dude, you didn't get $1 million. You got 30 years of their life that they worked their ass off, and then they gave it to you. It's not the money, it's the time that they gave you that they're honoring you with. So don't honor these scumbags with your very precious time. Don't value. Don't give it to them. To hell with them. Give it to people that care and appreciate you.
I 100% respect that.
Yeah.
So my dad was a truck driver in '68, hauling swinging meat. If anybody's in here know anything about swinging meat, I was born and raised with that. I was told, don't ever get your damn CDL. I came home. I said, hey, Pops, look what I got. I got slapped in the back of the head. He said, I told you not to get one of those. It is nothing like it used to be. And I ran and I ran. I mean, I ran 3 logbooks till I gave the DOT the wrong one.
Ooh.
Real quick.
That was a 10-hour break.
Real damn
Yeah.
quick.
3 points and a 10-hour break.
Yeah. So
We can make a song out of that one. Country song.
thank God. He was
Yeah.
cool as hell. He was like, yeah, you're new. Carry on. Perfect. He was cool as hell. I mean, as a DOT officer. But, I mean, I've done 21 years over the road. I mean, my teacher told me I could not rewrite history. I said, watch. Proves her wrong. I rewrote history.
Yeah. Well, Bobby, what are the 3 things you would change in the trucking industry if you had the power? What are the 3 things that you would change?
ELDs.
Okay.
First of all. Second of all, if you've been out here long enough, I would dock times. That hurts us the hardest. You sitting in a dock and going against the ELDs. I mean, honestly.
Regulate the dock workers, huh? Regulate the shippers and the cosinese.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, I've talked to them. They're like, we don't give a shit. We're paid by the hour. We're not. You're running up our clock. Sorry. Unload us or reload us, whatever the case may be.
Right.
Third of all, you can't control traffic. I mean, unfortunately. So, if we're in a dead stop and ELDs are reading that, stop, go, stop, go, stop, go, unfortunately, that shouldn't go against us.
Okay. I like it.
I mean,
Gotcha. Well,
now,
For 21 years, Bobby.
you what, young man?
You said you've been on the road for 21 years now?
Yes.
Absolutely.
I left the over-the-road experience, and I now pull hopper bottom for a local co-op. So, for the last 2 years. So I'm home lightly. I mean, I did plenty of time on the road. I used from Texas every week. But I'll let you finish on what you have to say. And young man, I want to know how to get those stickers. I did not meet up with you. I did follow you via MATTS. I was there. I didn't catch up with you personally. But
did you see me or?
What do you got to say?
Nothing. I was just gonna say, did you see me at MATTS or no?
I did not get to see you at MATTS.
Okay. Well, next year next year we're probably going to have a booth. So come see us at the booth. Okay.
Okay.
So
Just please follow me, and I would love to get a sticker
sure.
from you.
Yeah, if I meet up with you somewhere, I will, and I'll more than likely be asking you for an interview too. I'll be trying to get an interview from you. So,
Well,
Michael,
I will be at, I don't know if you're coming to Iowa in July for the Jamboree. I will be there.
brother, I go where the wind takes me. I go where the freight takes me. I'm everywhere all the time. I'm nowhere
Okay.
and I'm everywhere. Does that make sense?
Well,
Just like Sean, just like Scott. We're everywhere.
I gave you a follow. So
Thank you. I followed you back. Yep. Yep.
But young man in the bottom corner, I mean, what did you have to say? Because I would love to answer your questions.
Thank you for your time and your service that you've gave for 21 years, to the people in this country, and delivered the foods, the goods, and everything that goes onto their table. So we appreciate your hard work and dedication to every single person out here.
Absolutely. I mean, do I miss over the road? I do. Do I miss dealing with the idiots? Well, I deal with them daily. So, do I miss going out of town? I do. 100%. I mean, I get what you're saying. And I used to go down to Dallas, Texas with Pell Windows and Houston and final out in San Antonio, reload, come back. I've been all across America. I can tell you the furthest west is Paul's, Idaho. Other than that, we never went. We never carried chains. Don't know how to throw them. Not willing to learn. Time for chains. Time for a rest area.
That's right. Well,
That's
Bobby,
what my dad always told me.
Bobby, thanks for coming on. We're gonna get to some other drivers, and like Sean said, we really appreciate your service. Thanks for everything you've done for all of us, and come back and see us soon. Okay?
Absolutely. You guys all have a blessed and wonderful evening.
All right. You too, brother. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, Scott, any last words? We're going to get some other drivers up here. Did you want to add anything else before going?
No, I think I'm pretty well said my piece. You said you're on a 34. Are you going to be off tomorrow?
Yep. I'll be off first thing in the morning. Yep.
Well,
5 a.m. Get out of here.
If you've got time tomorrow, you got my number. Give me a call. We can fix you up.
All right, let's do it. Yeah, I'll be on East Coast time. I'm going to get up probably like 5 and start driving. So, yeah, I'll call you around 9, 10. Yeah.
That sounds good, man.
All right, brother. Have a good one. See ya.
You guys have a good night.
Thanks,
You too.
Scott.
Thank you.
All right, everyone. Lane Metrics. If you haven't given Scott a follow, go check him out. It's Lane Metrics. He has put together a absolutely phenomenal, beautiful system for us. Instead of complaining, instead of insulting, he's doing something for the industry, for everybody. Thank you so much, Bobby. I really appreciate the roses. Thank you, everybody who is sharing the live. Thank you on YouTube, X, and Facebook. We really appreciate you. I want to give a shout out to WeTheTruckers.com. It is a phenomenal website with trucking advocates and bills that need to be passed, like Connor's Law and Delilah's Law. You all know of Delilah. Also on Facebook, go check out Trucking the USA Today. Again, Trucking the USA Today. There's a lot of fun facts on there. There's a lot of amazing statistics. We're trying to grow the channel. It's just information for anybody that's involved in the trucking industry. Again, it's not just all about drivers. It's about good, decent, hardworking, patriot Americans. So we're going to do another fun fact. Also, any drivers that want to come up, we are looking for drivers to give us 3 things that you would change. We are writing them down. We're taking notes, and together we can change anything. Again, thank you for the shares. Thank you for all the likes. Thank you for the comments, the gifts, everything. We give all our gifts back. We never deposit anything into the bank. It all goes right back to other channels. When you see us in lives on other channels, you'll see us giving gifts to other people. So we just cycle them through. So really TikTok gets all the money, really, because they take, I don't know what it is. I think it's like 35 or 50, 60%. I don't know. It's a lot. But thank you, JJ. Yeah, it's insane. Thank you, JJ. So again, thank you for the likes, the shares. Appreciate it. And the comments. The comments really help to get this to the For You page. If you want to type it into the chat, that could get us to the For You page too. We're trying to notify all 2 million truck drivers, right? That's how you make a difference with the voice. And it's hard being a little guy. You know, Trump can just get on, he just presses a button, says, hey, Fox News, hey, CNN, I need to say something. And the floor is his. You know, a congressman, a senator, they just push a button and it's there. They could say whatever they want. So is it true? Is it not true? I don't know. I'm starting to think a lot. My opinion is that a lot of what they're saying is not true. It's like anything that politicians are telling me now. I'm like, okay, what's the backside of that? What's the backside of the moon? What's behind there? Because that's what's really going on, not what they're telling me. That's my opinion and my opinion only. Trucking fact. Approximately 3.58 million professional truck drivers work in the United States. You guys know that? 3.58. So 3.5 million truck drivers are employed or work for themselves in the United States of America. If you're a driver and you want to come up, we want to hear from you. Don't be shy. There was one, what was his name? Sean, do you know the one guy's name that dropped out? It was taking too long, so he dropped out, I think.
I couldn't remember it. It was just like quick when I wanted to look up and it was like boom. I was like, oh man,
Yeah.
write him down.
I know. It was a bummer. You got anything you want to add there, Sean? Oops. Sorry about that. I don't know.
We can bring up pastime. Let's bring pastime up. Let's see what his 3 things in the industry. I see him typing all the time down there. See what his 3 things in the industry he'd like to change.
I don't think he'll come up. I'll try. Come on, Mike. Come on up. Let's hear from you. I haven't even talked to you in a long time. I tried. We'll see. Let's see. Maybe JJ will come up and give us 3 things. Let's see. Okay, I'm inviting some people again. Don't be shy. If you want to come up and talk to us, I guess I'll just read some comments. Let's see. I wonder where Lee and Lisa are. Let's read some comments here if I can find them. Wow, everybody's just talking to each other. Bobby says, I had totally appreciate everybody that has come in. I appreciate being able to speak in your live. You're welcome, Bobby, anytime. That's what our lives are for, man. It's for you, the truck driver, the hardworking American that sacrifices everything. All right, we got JJ. JJ in the house.
Sex, drug, and rock and roll.
Oh, man. Hey.
Happy birthday.
My virgin ears.
Yeah, sex, drugs, and rock and roll. 3 things.
Happy birthday, JJ. Everybody wish JJ a happy birthday in the chat. Come on, let's blow up the chat. Give him a happy birthday.
Send me lightning bolts.
There we go. I'll send you one. I got you. Hold on, I got you. JJ, what are the 3? There's your lightning bolt, brother. There you go. Bam! Hit you with the lightning. Let's see. Make non-domiciled drivers great again, says Ghost Trucker. Yeah, you know Ghost Trucker? Yep, there we go. We're not going to be blindsided by politicians anymore, are we? Whatever they say, let's just do the exact opposite. And then every 2 out of 3 times, let's do the right what they do say, and then let's just mix it all up. Let's make it a gaslighting party, since that's what we're being every day anyways, gaslighted. It can just be a clown show. It can be the circus. Right?
So I was just on a live, and like one of the guys, he's an Indian guy, right? Punjabi guy.
Yeah.
And I'm not bringing his race because like I want to bring up race. I've been saying this, that we need help from the Punjabi market, the Mexican market, the Colombian market, the Puerto Rican market, the American market, the black market. We need all from all the black markets so that we're not gaslighted in trucking. Trucking is always gaslighted. Everybody always lies to the small guys while the big guys make all the rules. Just like the politicians. So the three things that need to change. Number one is we need to have people that are small, that are small trucking companies, but are actually good advocates for the actual industry and understand trucking on some type of board. Two, the associations that are out there need to have CDL members, and no longer can they represent truckers if there's no CDL members like the ATA. No longer can a CEO of ATA make the decisions without having 100 small trucking companies actually pass or approve where their funds are going, especially when he's making $1.98 million and the small trucker is making nothing and going bankrupt. We talk about how they supposedly the non-domiciles are making everybody go bankrupt. Like, how about bad business decisions by everybody going bankrupt? How about politicians pushing for autonomous trucks and putting money from infrastructures into places that they're not supposed to be? Where's all the toll money going? All the toll money should be going back to the streets and to make them safe for drivers and or rest stops and or facilities, instead of where's all the $26 top when it comes to the parking? Where's all that money going? Where's all the tax money going that truck drivers pay on IFTA? I just ran some IFTA, but IFTA, like, imagine if you have every quarter 100 trucks and you pay $30,000 of IFTA taxes. Where's all that money going? And it's supposed to be going to the roads. So, like, out of 3 million, you divide 100 out of 3 million, right? And then you multiply that times 30,000. Where's all that money going? That's a quarter.
That's right.
No more lying to the small guys. No more lying that thinks that blind. And everybody here that's a small trucker, take off your blinds. It's not about race. It's about trucking. Trucking has no race. Trucking has diesel. Diesel on hard labor. And so don't make it about race. Make it about the diesel on the pavement that's ahead of you. And whenever you make it about that, you think that we can make a change. And so I've been jumping in lives, letting people know, like, to get over the thought process of the non-domicile, support the non-domicile that's done everything legally, because that's what we want. We want the good people here, not the bad people, right? So get the illegal ones out. I'm 100% with it. If they can't speak English, get them out. I'm 100% work with it. If they're here working hard, just like you and I, and they know how to put diesel in their truck and they understand the rules, and they understand the pavement right ahead of them. Like, truckers used to love the pavement, and they love the road ahead of them. So these guys are truckers just like you, and and a lot of them love America. That's the only thing that they live and breathe. And let's make the politicians pay for causing separation while they pad everybody else's pockets. That's why Sean Duffy gave his nephew $700,000 for his campaign from his other campaign, which technically is not illegal, but it's found on what he did. And so let's find out why he did that, and why they're not giving that $700,000 back to the actual taxpayer. Why is that money going and being redistributed to other things instead of going back to us, the American people? That's why Circle Logistics is, if they're so against the non-domicile and illegal, technically everybody that, like, Circle Logistics, and I'm not picking on Circle, but like Circle Logistics, CH Echo, all these guys are hiring illegals. They're just in a different country. Let's talk about why they're not giving you the American jobs back, where they actually have to quote more because they can't offshore their labor and quote less. Let's talk about all these problems that they created for the American driver and or the American business owners. I can't even say American driver because some of these non-domiciles are American business owners. They are American business owners. So why aren't we talking about how to make America great again? by making America great again, we have to look at the fundamentals, the fundamental facts of what people do for their businesses. Why can't we set aside our color? Because every time I smell a driver, I smell diesel, and that might well smell like it. And I'm going to tell you, everyone has the same challenges. They're tired, they're hungry, they're broke, they have nothing to eat. There's three things. There's not three things. There's a million things that's wrong with the industry, and we need to talk about all of them. And let's talk about why the average driver is 60. On the lives at 61. But let's talk about why the divorce rate for drivers is so high. Let's talk about why they can't see their families more on a regular basis, and why big mega carriers pay so low. Let's talk about why they control the ELDs, and how the government doesn't ask the small guys on how they actually run, instead of looking at the big guys how they run, because they can work a lot differently. Let's talk about why those rules apply to those big guys. Let's talk about why brokers can actually quote on in the industry when they have no costs. Let's talk about why they don't have any sign-offs. Let's talk about why they don't have any, and they don't have to put any money up front to start a brokerage. Therefore, they can put trucking companies out of business rather quick. Let's talk about all those things.
I'm speechless, JJ. Wow. You've had enough, haven't you? Dude.
Tired.
Wow, brother.
Tired of it.
Yeah, me too.
Tired of it. Like, I'm tired of the little guy always getting shit on, man. Like, I used to be the little guy. Like, I'm going to start using my voice, and I'm going to make sure that the change is going to help somebody. If it's one person, if it's two people, let's talk about the rules and regulations of transportation, and understand why people are trying to violate it, and why people are doing things wrong. I found out, and let me tell you, that I talked to a guy he's an American truck driver. He changed his logs, and it wasn't to cheat the system. Put himself on PC time when he should have been on PC time.
Oh, I saw your video on that.
I understand what you can and can't do, and yeah, and I don't think that's a big deal in my opinion. Like, and he's just like, I have to save a couple hours, right? Like how do I do it?
Yeah, yeah. No, you're absolutely right. It's a dude. I don't know how we got here. 296 Jack, welcome in, man. How are you doing? Yeah. Can you hear us? I hear like rain. Go ahead.
You know, we just took the foreign driver's license this week. I think we need to have some other states follow through
Right.
with the same laws that's going on here in Indiana. You know, we just lost like 5 people that was killed by foreign drivers in the last 2 months.
We have to stay on the live, brother, or they're gonna disconnect us. How many though? Oh yeah, right. I heard about that.
Hey, Jack, how about the other 100 American leaves that were killed by American or unalived by American people? How about those guys? How about the guy that did a U-turn in Florida and killed the family or unalived the family of 4? What about those guys?
Yes. Yeah.
See, the problem is we come in here and we start talking about safety issues, and you immediately start talking color issues instead of actual safety issues. That's the problem, and you cause separation. And let me ask you a question, Jack. Do you have hate in your heart?
No.
Do you have? Okay. Whenever people have hate in their heart, they start talking about systematic issues that are created by color. I don't care what color you are. I don't care who you are. I care that you follow the rules. And rules don't have a color, and they don't have a name. Let me ask you another question. Hawaii is trucking the only industry where they actually have non-domicile as a name. Let me give you an example.
Ooh, never thought of that.
Doctors, all the nurses, all those people that come in from different countries, they don't tell them non-domiciles and they let them practice. They let them practice here, and their medicine's better. They save a lot of lives. Why don't we go after those people too, right? I say that. See, the problem is instead of looking at what the safety issues are, let me tell you, Google Swift accidents, Google Swift U-turns, and it's going to come up with 1,000 pictures there, Jack. And whenever you look at that, why aren't we talking about Swift? Why aren't we talking about Warner? Why aren't we talking about all these American companies that have shitty ass training that actually get people hurt? Why aren't we talking about those? Why are we talking about the guy that I posted a video on as a white guy that pulled in front of another trucker in the middle of the street and put a lot of people in danger?
I can answer that, JJ. I can answer that. It's because we have been trained and programmed as Americans to be parrots. We're parrots, bro. Anything we see, we say.
I want Jack
Oh.
to answer because I want Jack to answer it. Jack made the comment. I want Jack to hold the responsibility. Because I believe we should all I think we should all hold responsibility on what our actions are, right?
I agree. What do you think, Jack?
I think he's muffled. I think something happened.
Yeah, I think he's in a bad area because I heard rain a minute ago. There he is. I think he's driving and he's in a bad area because I heard rain earlier and then he went.
It comes down at the end of the day, safety.
There you go. Now let's talk about safety.
If you can't read the road sign,
I agree with you.
should you be allowed to operate?
I agree with you. Now we're talking. Now we're talking.
I don't
Now
think
we're
so.
talking. I agree with you. 100%. I agree with you. Now, let me ask you another question, Jack. These DMVs, you typically, people issuing the licenses, right? They speak English, correct? At the DMVs, the guys that are issuing licenses, they speak English, correct?
Correct.
So why didn't somebody that speaks English, okay, that's American, give a guy that doesn't understand English a license?
Because they're breaking the law.
Okay, so why aren't we punishing those people?
And we need to.
There you go. There you go. Here's the reason you don't hear about this, Jack, is because they don't look like me, which is brown. And I'm going to tell you one thing, Jack. I'm American as a cop, and I love America. And I love America, but America doesn't have a color. America has laws, and we have everything that's written. And I think you would agree, Jack, because you come from a time that there's a time that you believed in those laws. And I think we've lost our ways because a lot of money and a lot of people do stuff. And it's one of those things that when we start breaking the laws, we cause havoc, right? And so, yeah, there you go. And it's one of those things where when we talk, right, let's not blame the actual symptom. Let's actually blame the cause. Right? Everybody, it even comes down to sickness. Sickness. Everybody's looking for how to solve the symptom, right, instead of the actual disease. And so let's look at the disease and where it starts. So let me explain what I mean. The disease are written by people that are much richer than you and I, that don't know anything about trucking, and yet they're writing laws that don't benefit you, that don't benefit Vince, that don't benefit Sean. And I'm over here advocating for you guys, and I don't have anything to win or lose in this game. I just don't. But I love trucking because my family does. But I don't. But I love trucking because Jack does. And because Vince does, and I hear the complaints. I've been hearing them for 18, 19 years, 20 years, and here's what I'll tell you: there was never an issue until it became an issue. And I'll tell you one thing, Jack, and let me give you some stats. Did you know that actual rates are down based off of actual percentages these last couple of years? And why did we have the same complaints in 2008, 2004, 2006, 2016? Why are we still having the same complaints that we're having today? And we didn't have a non-domicile issue. Why are we still having those same complaints? Like we're still complaining about the same thing. Why?
It's all by design. That's why.
It's 100% it's by design. 100%. Here's the thing: is a lot of people say a lot of things that they don't understand. And let me tell you, Jack, your hero, Sean Duffy, that was at MATTS and represented the trucking industry. 9 days, 10 days earlier, he was in a room full of legislation, getting a ton of money for autonomous trucks. And yet he was at MATTS parading around saying how he was all about the American trucker. Autonomous trucks don't have American truckers in them. So why are you sandbagging on Mr. Secretary Sean Duffy that loves Latinas and has 17 babies, right? And so why are we bagging on that guy?
For the record, too, Mr. Sean Duffy, his heart is with aviation. So if anybody thinks talking to him is going to get us somewhere, it's not. Derek Bars is who you want to try to talk to if you're trying.
Derek Bars is the same. Derek Bars is the same thing. Derek Bars doesn't understand anything when it comes to trucking. He doesn't even. I guarantee if I gave him an ELD device, he wouldn't know what to do with it. I guarantee he wouldn't know actually how to start the pre-trip inspection in the ELD device. I guarantee he wouldn't. I know how to do it, and I don't even drive a truck. I don't know how to drive a truck. I don't want to because it's hard. Because everybody all my life that has been a truck driver, I've seen them suffer.
You're not wrong.
I've seen them suffer.
You're not
I've
right.
seen the drivers, and then Jack, why aren't you going after C.H. Robinson, Echo, RXO, that offshore all their American jobs? Why aren't we going after those guys? They offshore 60% of their jobs overseas. Why aren't we going after those guys?
So
Research on C.H. Robertson here in the last couple of weeks. I took the company driver. I drive for a small company out of Indiana. And, you know, I'm trying to, give a little advice to this dispatcher that owns the company, you know, saying, I don't think we should use C.H. Robertson because they made $12 billion last year. And we're not making that much money. Now, if I had my own truck, I want to use C.H. Robertson because I know the BS behind their logic of things. So, and it really showed me because I was in the office one day a few weeks ago, and they put this load coming from Elkhart going to Indianapolis. It was like 166 miles, and they had $560 on it. And I told her, I said, well, hell, 700, you know, so did it for 700. And she put 650. Well, they came back within 30 seconds and said, hey, can you take it for 610? So I know they had the funds to pay the 700.
they had way more than that. That's just the game they play. They just operate within that little bit of a game.
So, hey, Vince, I want to go back to one of the things. Like I was just reading through IAJ Cruz, and he says like about buying CDLs, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let me ask this gentleman: did that guy buy his CDL from a non-domicile?
Who we talking about? J Spree?
What do you guys?
J Spree, come up, brother. Come up.
IAJ Cruz said that they're buying their CDLs, right? From California. Let me ask this question: did he buy that CDL from a non-domicile? Sean, what do you think? Vince, what do you think? Do you think that the guy bought his CDL from a non-domicile?
No.
I was somebody that was in politicians that's running the whole show like they have been, you know. Like if people instead of complaining about it, I mean, I'm not gonna say complain about it because they hear stuff and they take it to the bank. But
Harry.
Take
Yeah.
a check that is no good to the bank, they ain't gonna cash it, right? So if you go get the studies out and you actually see where it is, it's crooked politics. I mean, like all the way down to the bottom. I mean, I was just talking to a guy that was in a prison system, and the lady was scamming 25 cents of their books for every person that put money on their family's book. Over 30 years, she had like I think it was like $8 million off of 25 cents. You know, so it's like you know every hand in a trucker, they always got their pocket, your hand in your pocket. If you're wearing 5 pockets, there's somebody digging out of it. And
Now it's parking.
politicians see it and they say, hey, you know what? You're going to get into trucking. You know what? Instead of you skipping, how about we skip the line over here and you give me $500? You know, put it in your pocket.
100%. I'm going to tell you, and here's what I was telling to IAJ crew, right? I agree. You can't read or write, and if you literally came over here illegally, yeah, that's not. I'm not arguing that. Like I'm not arguing that.
The problem is they're legally because someone gave us asylum. That's legal.
100%.
Why nobody is in prison for that? Why nobody's in jail?
So look at all the politicians of where it's happening. Why isn't Gavin Newsom that allowed all this stuff to happen and come in, right? Why isn't he in jail for this?
Because we don't put him in jail.
Minnesota for all the Somalians, the same thing. But of course,
Because we don't do anything about it.
They look like me and Hector. I'm going to tell you one thing. If they look like Hector and I, we would get jail.
I'm sorry. I look gorgeous. That's what I mean.
Besides your gorgeous look.
But I mean, there's a lot of people legally because they have asylum. Why nobody is in jail? Why nobody is in jail from DMVs?
Because we're not putting them in there.
People from the third world because they can't defend themselves. What about all the people who is rich right now because they sold CDLs?
100%. Like IAJ Cruz said, Louisville, Kentucky has someone selling licenses, other people's information. Who are those people, and why aren't they in jail? Everybody's looking at the like what happened, right? Let's look at where it happens and where the money's at, and let's make those guys responsible for it because I'm all for that. I'm 100%, dude. Like I fucking love America, right? I love it, but like if we're gonna look at a problem, I'm not looking at where it happened. I'm trying to find out where it started.
Accountability.
Started because when you find out where it starts, that accountability happens. And so like you go back to let me give you an example, guys. You look at the records of all the fatalities, all the crashes, right? And you start looking at licenses because everything's documented within the FMCSA, and you have less issues today than you did in 2014 and 15. And it wasn't a non-domicile issue, so what was happening on the roads then? Like, well, why were all these accidents happening? And I'm going to tell you, my wife's in insurance, and she says accidents happen no matter what. I have a clip for Waymo, right? Waymo, they're trying to hide all this stuff, but Waymo went the wrong way. They're talking about non-domiciles. This thing went the wrong way. It flipped the U-turn and went the wrong way and was going against traffic, and everybody was going around it. And and it's one of those things that that people think that autonomous is the root of the problem. I want to find out who's pushing this autonomy, and I made a video earlier this week to make fun of what's happening in the industry. Everybody was like, "Oh, I'm so worried about illegals, and they need to go back to the country." But then they brought in 30,000 Swedish trucks to run in Texas. And nobody's talking about the Swedish trucks. I thought we were trying to keep. I thought Sean Duffy said something about American truck drivers, right? Why was he behind a bill that signed Swedish trucks? That's not American. So like why are we fucking eating those guys up? That's where your problem's at. So Jack, to give you a high level, the guys that look like you that are in office, those are your problems. And nobody's holding those accountable because you believe everything they fucking say.
And everybody's trying to get attention, not to fix a problem. Everyone is trying to get followers and views, but not fix problem.
That's right. That's right. All right. Let's see. Hector, what are 3 things you would change in the industry if you could? 3 things. Let's hear them, brother. Hector, can you hear me?
SMS system.
Yes, he's talking. He's talking.
I will change SMS system because it's fake. It is useless.
Yep.
I would change half of the FMCSR because they are not dated to now, and I will change interest.
Change what?
Insurance is, yeah.
Insurance. Okay.
Insurance.
Right on. Thank you.
What would you change in the insurance?
I will put myself in front of FMCSA. I mean, I want to make money too. I want to make millions.
Is that Justin Bieber? I want to be a millionaire. That's so freaking bad.
You know what's funny is like, you know, I could eliminate all the problems in this industry and people would hate me for it. But let me ask you a question. ELDs didn't solve the truck accident problem, right? Would everybody agree? Because everybody's saying that we still have, like, what's happening right now is everybody's saying we have a safety issue, right? So the ELD didn't resolve anything, but everybody
worse. It made it worse. We showed the numbers. It makes it worse.
made it worse. So why is it still in effect?
Because it makes somebody money.
Somebody's making money. There we go, Sam. Who's making money?
Mega carriers.
Sam said it. I like where Sam's going with it. So Sam knows. So Sam, who's making money, bro?
There are so many people making money. First of all, when we think we know who's making money on this stuff, we're just touching the tip of the iceberg.
Talk to me, Sam. Talk to me, dude. So let me. Go ahead, Sam. Go ahead, Sam.
First of all, I love the conversation tonight. And let me say, I love guy here that thank you for staying and listening and letting your worldview expand and recognize that the way you've been looking at things just might not be enough to you.
I already got it.
Because that stuff is where we get better. And
Growing. Let's grow.
Something I want to share with you real quick is something my dad used to tell me. I think it's the most important thing he ever taught me. He said, Samantha, when somebody hands you a picture of a monster, pay really close attention to the illustrator.
Sorry, Sam.
Oh, fine.
Go ahead, Sam. Sorry about that.
The powers that be keep telling us who the monsters are so we don't pay attention to the man behind the curtain. We have to stop being fooled by that stuff and pay attention. We are not children. We do not believe in monsters under the bed and in the closet. Stop acting like we do. Wake up, act like grown-ups, pay attention to the people that are really hurting you, and then demand that they stop hurting you. Unused power is lost power, ladies and gentlemen. We can find what was lost. We just have to conduct an appropriate search.
There you go.
I will give you an example. You have a son, and he lives in your house, and your son is a thief. He do drugs. He steals. He cheats. And you don't know about it.
Biden's kid?
You don't know about it. That's fucking bullshit, right?
Go ahead, Hector. Yep, finish up.
You're just turning your head to the problem, man. So,
In denial.
that's, it's funny that I hear a lot of people, like all these advocates, right? They want to spin a story, and have you guys noticed? And let me bring this up. It was first an illegal problem, then it changed. No, at first it was a non-domicile problem. Then it changed into an illegal problem. Then it changed into a safety problem. Then it changed into a rate problem, because everybody started challenging. Yeah, then it changed into a fraud problem. And then a gal the other day came on Freightways, and they allowed her to spew just word salad, where she said 80% of fraud comes from non-domicile drivers. And we sent a message to Freightways asking where they actually got those stats right. Literally, they responded, "We didn't provide those stats. She brought her own stats." And I said, how are these stats when I looked up those stats everywhere and I couldn't find them? Because, and let me give you an example. If there was a non-domicile or illegal person with an illegal driver's license, it would be on the news. Would you guys agree?
Yes.
Why wasn't it on the news? Why was it on the news?
Any non-domicile driver who owns a factoring company.
Yeah. I mean, there you go.
All right, everybody.
I
Hey.
gotta correct you on something, okay? The ELP was first. It's clear back in 2017. It went to Congress in 2020, and it wasn't until 2025 when Biden decided to jump on the backs of James Lamb and the SBTC and try bringing in the non-domiciles. And we tried separating it as hard as we possibly could, and we just couldn't get people to actually come to the table. I mean, I've gone to Jorge, because his name isn't George, right? It's Jorge. I've gone to Jorge, and I've offered him the tools that he needs so that he can get all the people to send, Congress and everybody else everything they need. And if we can get, other than non-domiciles agreeing with us and saying, hey, this is bullshit. These people come in here and they're doing it legally and they're doing it right. And we can get those people that agree with us to start getting a hold of Congress and everybody else. And you start bombarding their emails. And we're working on the phone directory right now. But, I mean, people laugh at me at what I don't realize.
Yep.
Not just this industry, this country.
I agree with the last thing.
You don't need to take the country back from illegal. You need to take the country back from politicians.
Correct. Let me say something where, like, let me clear something up for everybody. ELP has always been a place that was just never enforced, guys. And here's the problem: is the people that at the DMV, they created systems where they could take tests in different languages. So my question is, if they understood what the FMCSA law states, right, and the ELP law, or the rules state, the FMCSA rules, right, and they're from the DMV, they should understand this. Why weren't they enforcing it? And so once again, we're not looking at the illegal situation. You can't correct me because ELP has always been in place. People were just weren't enforcing it, and then they started enforcing it. And here's what I'll tell you: I have no problem with that. Enforce the shit out of it. is to look at my English, bro. I'm not the best writer, but I speak English really well. And so there's a lot of people out there that can as well. And what happens is we start attacking the wrong things. Like we have to start asking why did these DMVs, and they won't attack their own DMV because it's a government, as part of the government branch, right? Why did the DMVs allow to take tests in different languages? And then Forte went to MATTS, right? And the SMCSA is getting tagged with English on one side, and then there's Chinese on the back side.
I got a picture of that, JJ. I got a picture of that thing down.
We're in the.
You want me to tell you? Yeah. Okay, so in 2016, okay, part of the ACA Act, okay, the American Care Act, okay, there was a clause in there that basically said that you cannot, like, look down on people that don't speak. You have to be able to get them into the insurance. And that actually affected the trucking industry. And I don't know how to actually explain it. I'm not good with words. That's why I search out other people to try to, get those words out. But basically, there was a clause in there that actually lifted the ELP mandate. Now, understand, ELP mandate is a regulation, not a law. Okay, it can be lifted at any time. It can be enforced at any time. It just depends on the administration. Okay, so what we were trying to do is get it so it was law. So you had to be able to read, write, and speak English to drive a truck, not regulation anymore. Okay, when OIDA came into it in 25, and they started jumping on the backs of somebody that already put the work in, somebody that already put a $50,000 campaign on Facebook alone. Okay, Melissa, this Design is how you actually say her name, but Melissa Design. Okay, she lost her son in 17. She started this campaign way back then. She found James Lamb, and they took it and put it on Congress's desk. Okay, part of it was in the House and part of it was in the Senate, and they sat on it for 2 years. Okay, the general public finally got involved when you had a U-turn in Florida. Okay, so the U-turn in Florida sparked the general public, and that's what I'm trying to tell people. If we spark the general public, to hell with how many drivers think that it should be just the way it is. Okay, the general public says, "Hey, wait a minute. That's why the cost of groceries is going up in my stores because those brokers are gouging the crap out of the industry." Guess what? You're going to get change. Why? Because the only way you can affect Congress is money or votes. And that's just fact. And that's why I keep on losing my account. And that's why I started the bio page on my web page, so that when I lose my account, you will know where to find me. So when I actually, get people that want to work with me, they're going to get those pages, so that we don't lose our account, so they can't silence us. And when it comes to fruition, we're going to have a phone dialer, so people just go and they push the button and it dials who we're trying to get a hold of. They're going to have an emailer so that it pulls up their email and they mail it. They're going to have a petition that is certified and legal. Okay, they're going to have all these tools, and that's what I've been trying to explain to people. The brokerage is only to feed the family while we fight this battle. Period. Okay, I'm not a broker. I'm somebody that wants to fix this.
Let me understand what you're saying. So you're saying that it's the broker's fault, right?
No, the broker long story short, okay, I went and I said, "Hey, why don't we just go get our own loans?" Right? Well, I was approached by somebody, and he became my partner later, and he's no longer. I was approached by him, and he said, "You can't do that. That's illegal." And I said, "Why the hell?" And he said, "Only a broker can actually distribute a loan." Now, that's Chris Bennett. He's not as dumb as people want to make him out to be. Okay? He just wants you to think he is. But anyway, so he came to me and he said this. I started freaking NOAA. Okay? Jamie Anderson, okay, Texas trucker, he was part of NOAA, but he wasn't the part that started it. me and Mike Boston started NOAA. Okay. And I'm not going to get into any of that. But long story short, I've been in this so long.
Something illegal?
We were doing something illegal.
Hey, you say that.
No. What we were doing was trying to bring.
Understand what you're saying. Just say you guys
Okay,
were doing
so
something
basic-
that you're not supposed to do.
You know, what we were trying to do, okay, what my idea was actually not going to work. So we went around it and we said, how can we fix it? Because that's what I like to do. I find a problem and I want to find out how to fix it.
Yeah, but I want you to understand.
Okay, so listen, I'm telling you, I understand where you're going. Okay? So yes, what we were going to do, we didn't do it. What we were going to do was get everybody to go get votes, put them in a big basket, we just distributed them. Right? So we were working with ourselves.
That's the problem.
Right. It is.
I want to
I don't.
Okay, yeah, let me tell you a problem.
I don't think you understand what I'm actually saying. I said that.
I understand what you're saying. You know what the problem? Accountability. Nobody's asking for accountability. No one.
What do you mean? Let me give you as an independent carrier, okay, as an independent carrier, you can go get loads for your own trucks. However,
It's that's what is proven. This problem in the past. If nobody is asking for that guy to be in jail.
what the hell are you talking about? I think you can lay down a different path. What guy are you trying to put down? You just went out left field.
Who's responsible for all this problem?
100%. Who's responsible?
All these
Who's responsible? The government.
okay.
So what's the
Former FMCSA, like I've been straight up in jail.
Getting into all that, you're going down a really big rabbit hole. And you want to.
All right. Hey, Hector, hold on.
just as long as you have, because I've seen it from all the different
34 years? 34 years.
34 years, but I have seen more divorces than you have ever.
Okay, I'm happy for you, but you're still not understanding what I'm saying.
I've seen more traffic counties than you have ever. So
See, this is why I get other people to explain it after I've explained it to them about 5 times. But people don't understand what level. I guess I don't know. But a system around there so that holds us back from doing it ourselves.
That's the problem. You're making this problem about you, and it's not about you, it's about the system. The problem is you don't understand. That's the problem.
Seriously, hold on. I'm telling you that I'm making it possible for you to get your own loads. You take responsibility of that load. You can also give those loads up to your friends if you want to, which you can't do right now. Okay? And you also have the ability.
I do it all the time.
Okay, so you listen to the whole thing, and this is happening. Listen to how it's good.
Listen, I'm gonna retweet what you said. You get the to other people that you have and I said, so you say you're an agent. So
Let's start over. Okay? I want you to be quiet and listen for a second. That's what you want. I'm gonna interrupt and just say fucking cake.
Hector.
They don't want to do it. They don't want the help. I'm done, dude. I'm done. Go do your shit.
one second, you're trying to say like, are you trying to say
Hold on, you can finish, Mike. You can finish. I'll just mute you. How's that? I'll just mute you. Yeah, three things, Mike. Before you go, three things. Three things you want fixed. All right, so I'm going to remind everybody. Wait up, hold on. I'm going to remind everybody, please. All right, listen up, everybody. I need everybody on this live to be respectful, to please not interrupt, even if you get super passionate. I know everybody believes that their opinion is the right opinion, but if you are interrupting somebody more than 10% of the time, it's not cool and you're going to get muted. Okay, so please be respectful to each other. And we're passing up some people here. So where did he go? Yeah, see, a lot of people are dropping out. Jasper, thank you so much for your patience. Go ahead, the floor is yours.
We have more people on the slide now. Like it's getting good.
This is true.
Yeah, I'm just trying to say, like, I understand what the whole non-dollar South situation too, and I want to get to like non-touch broker like part as well, right? I'm not trying to attack him or anything, like, but do you think as a shipper, let's say he's doing 300 loads a year, right? And then let's say as an owner operator, I go up to him and I tell him I'll run your load, right? Do you think that's making it like easier for them to move those 300 loads, right? So at one point, I'm gonna have to be a broker as well to broker it out because I only have one truck, right? Is that correct, right? Like I only have one truck, I'm not dipping it out, right? Yeah. Why are these brokers in the market? Because they have access to all of our trucks. We're small companies, right? Pop and shop. 84% of companies are small 1-2 truck operators, right? Only like a handful are mega carriers, and then they don't have the resources. Like shippers don't have the resources to touch all like 84% of us. How many people are they gonna keep touching every time? Oh, can you move this load for me every day, right? So that part of it too, and then trucking, right? Like only United States is the only country that's so invested into trucking that they regulate and everything. All other countries like Europe, it's very more relaxed. Ours is like quick and easy, like our government's involved into it, right? Every time, and then we're saying make American. Like I'm not trying to roast Vince or anything. Vince is in a Mexican made truck. It's a Freightliner. So they're trying to say like, oh, make it American and stuff, but Freightliner is 60% on the road. I think it's 20% Volvo, and then the rest is
From Mexico, made in Mexico. Yeah.
What is it? International, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, made in Mexico, right? So they're 50. But
Jax, can I answer a couple questions and then like actually just say something as well?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
If you want to go, JD, you can go.
Yeah, number one, we need brokers because logistics is very complicated, and shippers don't like to deal with one truck companies because they just don't have the resources, nor do they want to hire the resources. That's the first thing. And two, it's funny how we talk about like having illegals out of this country, and I've already said my piece. Everybody understands that. I agree with that. But you have all these American companies in Mexico working as illegals. An example like Werner, Swift, Schneider, Lancer, they're all overseas getting Mexican freight. Why? Like they don't want you here. They don't want you here, right? But they sure want to be in your country and get all the freight because 19,000 loads move across the border in a truck, right? And so, like, it's just funny, like the hypocrisy that lives, and to me, this industry, as I stated earlier, and a lot of people were unaware, this industry is about diesel on the road. It's not about your color. And so when people start making it about your colors, when a lot of problems happen, and when people start looking at the laws and actually holding people accountable to those laws, kind of like what Hector was saying, right? I think we can make a bigger movement and a bigger push and actually fix the industry. And I think a lot of people that like Vince and I have friendships with almost everybody. Mostly just like you said, send me a DM and we can talk outside of this. I think you would see that we have a lot more in common. But I think when people start looking into facts and situations and what's happening, and you mentioned something really big, the government is in everybody's pockets, and the government controls people's view. And today I had a conversation with Vince outside of a light, right? And I said we all live in the Hunger Games, and if you haven't watched that movie, go watch that movie. But basically, the government puts everybody against each other, and they make each other fight, and it's the only way to actually control the chaos. But people live in the chaos. So,
That's right. That's right.
That's all I want to say.
So let's take a minute here. This is the one he left earlier. This is the driver that left earlier. Telly DC, go ahead. You can go next because you left earlier, right? Yeah. Go ahead.
Question I got is, I'm just a driver. How can I make a change? Because if I'm a company driver. If I speak up about all the wrong that's happened, and I've been in the industry for 26 years. I have a family to support. Nobody's paying my bills. Who's going to pay my bills? I have no problem. I agree with what everybody's saying. Everybody here that's in this industry is doing it for one or two reasons. Either one, to support your family, or to make the money.
Right.
There is no more camaraderie. There is no more helping a fellow brother out anymore. That's just trucking. It sucks. All the rest of it, everybody's sitting here saying, let's speak up, let's speak up, let's speak up. Okay, if I speak up,
So I can answer that for you. So you know what? Yes, you're probably going to say the same thing I'm going to say. Go ahead, Sam. Let's see what you got.
Kelly, first of all, I want to tell you that I hear exactly what you're saying. I want you to know that somebody hears you, okay? And then I want you to know that the solution is that we start with little things. We send a petition for 435 districts. We back it up with emails to congressmen and senators. We get a small win, and we take 8,000 people to 20,000 people to 100,000 people to 1 million people. Because let me tell you what's more powerful than money in America.
You gotta learn how to advocate, and talking to your congressman is not going to get you anywhere. 100%.
Absolutely. That's why it's a piece of the puzzle. The only thing that's going to get you somewhere is when you bring 3.9 million men and women together with one voice who say this government has drifted, and today we are correcting the drift.
And that's why I keep saying, if you push towards something that you can actually change, that Congress doesn't have to be involved. So, for example, look at these toll roads, look at the taxes, look at the fraud that's going out. We've seen it. We're getting it located. Now all we got to do is just put it in implement and let it ride, and it can happen, and it will happen, because there's guys that's in this industry that's there's no money to gain from it. It's something we want to change for the upcoming people, and it's just, once you win that battle, then when you start going up to the top and you start calling people out, like JJ saying, call Sean Duffy out. The ones that are actually committing these the fraud, or I wouldn't say fraud, doing the dirty politician parts, and putting light on it, so everybody on this platform start talking about how they did something wrong to the trucker. That's going to expose it all the way out. Look for example, if you used what was her name? She was the governor of South Dakota. What's her name? Christine Holm. So Christine Holm, the reason why she got put on blast in front of Congress is because the American people was stepping up and saying, hey, you know what? She's doing shady stuff. She's doing shady stuff. And then eventually they say, hey, you know what? We're going to bring her in here. We're going to find out what's actually really going on. Well, then once they got her in there, all the people that exposed her and said, hey, you know what? This is what she's doing. We have the facts. He had no choice but to say, hey, you know what? You're fired. And that's how this is how you would get small change. You would put all these people on blast. They're going to go in front of Congress. You put the facts in front of Congress, because you can submit that. I can submit that. Any person can that is up there that's in the battle. So If you change 1-2 things of those, they're going to start listening to you. Now you got a voice. It doesn't take money. It takes power, which is what they have. And if you can get and weed these guys out, you have the power. You don't have to have the millions of dollars to pass Congress.
I think what our industry has right now is we keep trying to cut each other's throats. There is no unity within the industry. You want to make a bigger change, and Wild Child, I just saw you're in here. You can come up here too. I'd love to hear your take on this.
Child's a shit.
We're agreeing the other night. Wild Child's awesome. I love him to death.
Yeah, he's awesome.
And you want to make a bigger change? Quit fighting with each other. Quit motherfuckering each other. Quit trying to underbid each other. Quit trying to destroy each other. You want to bring this country together and this industry together? Start one person at a time. Say hi to the person beside you. You know, just be a decent damn human being.
That's right, man. Like back in the old days, like 2000s, everyone used to be so much nicer to each other.
Like in the
Exactly. So, JJ, I want to come back on what you were talking about.
Go ahead. Yeah, I saw that your comment earlier. Go ahead.
So, a lot of people in here don't know me. JJ, I know you do. Vince kind of does. I am both a broker and a carrier. I broker from the cab of my truck. I am out there doing the same thing all you guys are every single day. One of the reasons that doing what Pastime was talking about, number one, these, especially big customers, don't want to deal. They might have a few local guys or that have come down and done the work, put the work in, and knocked on the doors. And they're like, yeah, every time you're in the area, give me a holler and we'll see if we got something for you. But especially these big companies, take Campbell's and Johnson and Johnson and you name it, all these great big shippers and got locations all over the country. You guys don't realize what it takes to be a broker. You don't realize the time it takes and the money it takes and the systems it takes to, number one, get out, verify that everybody's legit. And even with the My Carrier packets and the highway and everything else, there's still fraud out there happening. Absolutely. You don't realize what it would cost to employ that many people. And not only you're talking about wages and benefits, and then you talk about the infrastructure to get them, the computers and the internet, the phones, and everything else, and the load boards, and all that stuff. Shippers don't want to deal with that. They don't 100%. Want to deal with that. So 100%. That's why they rely on a broker or a bunch of brokers, whatever, and send it out to 3PLs to say, okay, here's the load information, run it out to our trusted carriers, and then, there's all sorts of things like there's, like a lot of 3PLs. Typically, it goes to the lowest bid first. Sometimes it goes to a more reputable that, like I had one customer that I was working with. I still have the highest paid carrier on all of my stuff, broker and asset-based carrier. But I could offer them better service, so they would pay for that better service. So it'll go through a routing guide. But these customers don't want to mess with all they want is their ship moved as economically as possible and as safely as possible and have it get from A to B. That's what the broker serves. Can you, as an independent owner operator, go out and get customers? Absolutely. I work for several customers that I don't broker. I can't broker. They don't want me to broker it. They want my trucks, and sometimes they'll wait. And if I can't get to it, they'll go on to their next trusted carrier. But carriers need, independent owner operators need to get off their asses, quit blaming everybody else, quit this constantly bashing in the us against them, constant bullshit that we're dealing with. Try to get along and just get out and put the work in, and you'd be amazed how successful you could be.
Stop looking at the world like it sucks, right? Start looking at the world like it's awesome, and start saying I can instead of I can't. I can't. Well, yeah, you keep vibrating that type of attitude, you're not going to get shit done. Sorry, Sean. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I was just about to hit on that. And that's the sad thing. If you look at what everybody's, complaining on, like, oh, it's the insurance, it's the broker, it's the non-domicile, this race, it's this. If you take all that energy of hating and actually putting it to use to get something changed, we could change a lot. Everybody wants to like go, oh, well, it's this guy's fault, it's this guy's fault, and yeah, I get it. The system's built that way. It starts at the top, so they're passing it down. They're saying, hey, you know what? We want to fill this agenda. JJ can agree with this. We've been doing research like it's going out of style. They're investing in their own pockets. Guys are saying, hey, you know what? We're going to make this thing the next big thing. We can't invest in it because that's going to throw us right out into the media. So how about we have our brothers, our sisters, our nephews, nieces, whoever they want to fill a pocket. And then they say, hey, you know what? We're gonna pump and dump. That's the biggest scheme I've been hearing, and it's a real thing. I mean, we're watching Autonomous. Everybody's like, oh, Autonomous. It can't. It's 5 years, 100 years out. Well, let me tell you something, guys. It just wasn't but 5 years ago. We couldn't even put a space shuttle and wrap around the world. You know what we can do now? We can wrap around the world now, and we can land that sucker right back in the same spot it took off. So don't tell me that technology ain't here. If we start looking and open up our eyeballs at what's going to happen to the industry, we all need to bond together. And I'm not just saying just a truck driver. I'm talking about the whole industry as a whole. I'm talking about the guy that is out here putting pavement down on the asphalt on the road, that the system comes in and says, hey, you know what? Grind that down only down to 3 millimeters, and we're going to put 2 back. So that way we can pocket this much money. I'm talking about from the insurance company that's saying, hey, you know what? If you get this guy up a little bit higher rate, if he had a little fender bender, we're going to sell this out for $1,000. He's going to pay that $1,000 out. We're going to raise him up $5,000 a year on each truck. Those are the guys that in the system. If we all bond together and say, hey, you know what, this is what we want, this is what we deserve, and this is how we're going to make it happen, they're going to listen. I mean, and they have to listen. There's one thing they always say: if you take greed or power out of the system, you have nothing there to fight over, right?
That's right. That's right.
Yes. On the insurance thing, a lot of people are bitching about insurance. Okay, that's great. My insurance just happened March 11th, so this is very fresh. Guess what? I have Great West Insurance, and we have perfect CSA scores. We get inspections. My driver's out here in the yard right now. He got inspected yesterday evening with an oversized load at the St. George scale. They thought they were going to bust him, and he walks in. We went over on our permits just a little bit, so we made sure that we were more than legal. He had his Arizona and his Utah, and the guy the DOT officer got a little disgruntled because he couldn't bust him on anything. He's got more than enough securement. If carriers actually take care of themselves, number one, do what's right, keep up on your shit, keep up on your logbooks, keep up on your maintenance.
Preventative maintenance.
Scale. You get clean inspections. And then I've got an insurance agent. I went from 150 cargo to 500 cargo, and my policy went up, I think, $3,000 over last year. And that was the cargo going up from 150 to 500.
Remember what state are you from?
I'm up in Montana. And
That's why.
So insurance. So I've got an agent. Great West initial quote was $20,000 higher, and my agent, because I don't just pick any random agent, and any of you guys that are owner operators know the absolute abundance of calls and emails and text messages and everything you get at renewal. And I had a couple people quote it just for shits and giggles, but you know, my agent that's been working with me for years, that knows me and knows how we run and knows our maintenance and knows what we do and everything, went back to Great West and said, "You guys are idiots. If you guys are gonna try and quote this to him, he'll leave you in a heartbeat." I had Century. I think I paid $300 more than Century to stay with Great West. Which $300 a year, whoop-de-doo. But my agent actually knows what he's doing. He's not a fly-by-night guy. He's third generation in the just trucking insurance only, nothing else. And he went and he fought for me. But we also started this process in January. So he's taken the time to put the effort in to fight for me as a carrier. But guess what? I live to see another day. And I'm not complaining about my insurance. And I got the best insurance out there.
There we go. That's what build relationships. Go ahead.
How many of you come from families where there's a cell phone basket at your in your dining room? Anybody where, you know, it's time for dinner, so we're going to put our cell phones in the basket?
Nope.
Nobody's going to bother it. Nobody's going to try to get into it. It's just we're having dinner. Whatever's going on that phone can wait until dinner's over, right? If you've been in a meeting where that was the story, somebody knows what you guys know what I'm talking about, right? I want you to imagine industry where all the players, the brokers, the insurance agents, the people designing the apps, the driver, the carrier, everybody comes to the room, and there's an agenda basket. There's a personal interest basket. You put all that shit in the basket. You sit down at the table. The only objective is to solve the problem. You can have all that shit back when you get up and leave. Take it all back, go do your thing. But in this room, for this hour, while we're solving these problems, none of that stuff matters, because the only thing that matters is how do we make a decision that does the most good for the greatest number of people while creating the least amount of harm to the smallest number? What if we do that?
Problem is, you'll never get everybody in the same room. And
we won't if we keep saying we won't. But if we started saying we would, maybe something would change.
See, and Sam, for 30 years,
how you're going to get realistically, how you're going to get all the megas, all the independents, and you're going to get everybody to stop and come to the same room.
I can make it
talk to people one at a time. One at a time, and I'm
Yep.
going to explain to them how it is in your best interest to lay aside your bullshit so we can get something done.
It's not going to happen.
Where there's a will, there's a way.
It won't happen with you, clearly, because you've decided it won't happen. But for the rest of us that still believe in possibility, I disagree.
I feel like you can't get carriers, you can't get two drivers to agree on
Don't
the
tell me what I can't do. Nothing
I'll
we can do. Let me tell you the real answer to nothing we can do. The real answer is it's hard and you don't feel like it. Well, I'm
a realist. I'm a realist. I've been in this industry every day of my life. Every day of my life, multi-generational in this industry. And it's not going to happen. It's just like everybody says, oh, we're going to strike. We're going to strike. Guess what? You guys go ahead and strike. I'm going to go ahead and keep taking care of my customers. And when I need to connect the dots, guess what? I'm going to haul the freight that you're not hauling.
See, that's the thing. That's where you're getting it. That's where you're getting it wrong.
We're going to take care of the world.
Yeah, that's where you're getting it wrong. So going on strike, we already know that's not gonna. That's a failure, right? And there are actually laws on that saying, hey, you know what? You cannot go on strike. So
domestic terrorism.
Yeah, so drivers talk about it every single day.
Oh, hold on, everybody.
Fix that problem.
Oh, hold on, everybody. Wait, I want to say something. So 7 months ago, I had that same attitude. I had the attitude driving down the road that, you know what? Somebody's got to fix this problem. There's no way that nobody's going to fix these problems. So you know what? I got my ass out of the truck and I went to the White House and I tried to talk to Trump, right? Now that's really silly. A lot of people think that is silly, Mo. But do you know how many people, just by me making that one small tiny little fraction of a decision, how much education, how many people I've met. And look at this live. There's 34 beautiful souls in here right now off that one decision. So if that one small decision can bring all these people together, and an entire website can be designed with trucking advocates just in the last, I don't know what, 3 months. Jane and Mike started WeTheTruckers.com. You can go there to find all the trucking advocates that are there right now, the small little tiny trucking advocates. If our attitudes and our minds keep thinking of the 2% of bad and the 2% of what we don't agree on, yes, we're always going to stay in that dark hole. But we actually all agree on 98%. It's not true that you can't get truck drivers to agree on anything. Actually, we all agree 98% on all the exact same things, just like Democrats and Republicans. Just like Democrats and Republicans, that you'll hear about them arguing over 2% of bullshit.
Make stuff happen in DC.
There's one
don't
thing
have
more
deep enough
powerful than
pockets
money
to
in
make it
America.
happen in DC.
Can I say something? You guys don't like
DC. We don't have to go to DC. Everybody thinks that it all starts at the problem at the top. You know, they're all like, hey, let's go to DC and let's fight this. The DC is just the least of our work. That's just a splash in the button.
They're nobodies. It's us. We're the powerful.
Don't have enough. Okay, I'm going to tell you a story. In 23, I was up at my state legislature. Okay, they were talking about this new law that they were wanting to pass that allowed agriculturalists to be able to move 16-foot wide loads on 2-lane roads at night. And I went in, and as a broker and a carrier, I went, this is dumb. And I brought up how it violated state and federal law, or current state and federal laws, how, they're allowing these kids, because let's face it, there's a lot of kids that are driving farm trucks. I was one of them. But you're taking people with no experience and allowing them to run on narrow 2-lane roads at night with a 16 wide load. I said, I don't like doing it on narrow 2 lanes as a professional during the day.
With 30 years experience, right? Yeah.
Right. And I brought up 2 members of that committee that I knew were in agriculture and made them admit on record that they're in agriculture and their trucks don't get inspected and they don't know, they don't put on 20,000 miles a year. And they actually got me up at the podium the same time as the Montana Department of Transportation talking head. And it was literally rapid fire, back and forth. And I had the DOT guy stuttering.
Nice.
Because he couldn't argue with me. Guess what? They still passed it anyway because Montana DOT and all the ag, Farm Bureau and stuff like that were all for it. I didn't have enough money to
you know what?
To make a difference, so it doesn't matter.
You know what? It does matter.
16-foot wide's being moved at nighttime though.
Wait a minute. First of all, God bless you for that. God bless you for that. Second of all, you alone went there to do that. What if you would have had 20,000 drivers behind you? Then what would have happened? Would they have still passed it? What about 100,000? What about 2 million? If you had 2 million drivers behind you, you think they would have passed it? I doubt it. That's what we just need each other. How about the whole industry? Right.
The guy that's sitting over here paving the pavement that you could have got involved and said, hey, you know what? If these roads are not structured at nighttime, if the tire went off, how about the study for the insurance company saying, hey, you know what? We shouldn't be really insuring a vehicle at night with it being 16 wide, right? Those are the factors that you got to play in when you start playing with the big guys.
These guys have the insurance for that stuff? That's the problem. That's the guys.
Bring it up.
Bring it up. Let's look for the solution. Let's look.
I'm gonna say a couple things, and then I might violate some of the rules. So if I do, let me know, Vince. I'm gonna go back to the comments of we're just one person, 2 people. and there's no movement, right? And I'm going to tell you, there's the LGBTQ movement was people, and they all bound together, and they made more headway within 2 years than the African American community has in all since all their movement, right?
Great example.
And it's because here's what happened. They all bound together and they all attacked the same way, and they all attacked one or two people, and they made their voices heard. Christy no longer exists because she got attacked on social media so bad that they had to remove her. Sean Duffy needs to get attacked because the guy doesn't know his face from his a-hole. You see, I got that right, Ben.
Yep.
So hopefully I don't get flagged on this. But
Yeah. Good job. Please don't.
When somebody says that, when somebody says that it's only a couple people, I disagree because I've seen it happen.
Well, and look at that one broker says.
It was people.
Go ahead. Sorry, I interrupted.
I don't think we ain't working with those people. You know what I mean? Like JJ, when we had that one thing that you sent me over, where'd that come off of? Did you go look at that page? That was that one you sent me. Real. That came off of the LGBT.
The LGBT community.
Mo, we're gonna get you on the. We're gonna get Mo on the positive train. Mo, let's go on the positive train. Come on, brother. You're part of it. Let's go. We can't do it without you.
Mo's a good dude.
I know.
I like realists. I'm a realist. I live here in the real world, and I've been around this literally every day of my life. And I can tell you, it's not going to happen. The way you guys are going about it isn't going to happen. You can't compete with OIDA and the ATA. Look at what all these big trucking companies.
Yeah, but we can compete.
One question.
Who they donate to, and who are all their packs? You don't even have a pack. You don't
have one question, Mo.
Just I can tell you the King Act that is going on right now, man. If I started pumping them information and what we have against certain individuals of facts and truths, dude, they will eat that up. We would just sit back and be just watching it. You know, it ain't the movement's there. It's just getting the right people to take your voice and run with it. And that's why we keep saying every voice counts in this industry. You know, and I'm not talking about just truckers. I'm talking about the industry as a whole, the insurance person, every single aspect of it. Everybody just thinks that, oh, it's just a driver. No, it's the construction worker, it's the insurance, it's the broker. You know, the system right now is built to get everybody fighting one at each other. So
that's right.
Come together and actually say, hey, you know what, we want to fix a problem. But if we all just say, hey, you know what, we're going to take self-responsibility in this, and we're going to make a movement, we're going to fix something. So say what? Let's just say we get 300,000 people to put their voice in it, right? And nothing happens. What'd you lose? You lose 1 minute of your time for saying, hey, I'm going to stand up, or an hour.
Yeah.
Question though, I got a really important question. Well, when we do get it done, and please hear that I said when. Will you have the humility to say you were wrong, buy me a beer, and then we'll fix some more shit? How about that?
Absolutely, because it's not going to happen.
Woo! It is going to happen. It is going to happen.
We'll even fix it for you, baby. We'll
Woo!
even fix it for you.
Yeah, that's right. Let's go. Come on.
Okay.
I love it. Hey, look at you know what, Mo?
It's harder because of people like you, but
hey,
still gonna happen.
Hey, 10 years ago, transgender community, everybody could talk crap about the transgender community, make fun of them, say nasty things, whatever in public, right? 5 years. Wait a minute. 5 years ago, they started a movement. They're not even 1% of 1%, and they almost have I think they got the hate laws passed. They're less than 1% of 1%. The transgender community did it by banding together.
They're not fighting within each other. There's no infighting there. There's all
exactly. That's
and you're not
yeah.
gonna get everybody. You're delusional. You are absolutely delusional. If you think that you're going to get every single person in this industry.
You didn't hear that part. We only need 10%. We only need 10%. We don't need 100%. We need 10% people saying, hey, you know what? We're fighting for all the rest of the people that saying, hey, this ain't going to happen. 10% ain't very much of the whole industry. I mean, you're talking, when I say everyone, I'm talking about from the insurance, everybody. I only need 10% to add up to that number to say, hey, you know what? We have a problem. We want to come to the table. Let's fix it. If we don't come to the table, these are the consequences that we're going to be facing. And it'll be over. They'll sit at the table. They're going to say, hey, you know what? Let's have a conversation. If you want to redo the green book, it can be redone because
That's right.
power runs by money, and money is run by power. So if you can sit there and say, hey, you know what? We pay in trillions of dollars. The government right now in our infrastructure path trust right now. We're like the brokest, man. We're living paycheck to paycheck. When we pay our IFTA tax, that money goes in there and it's already spent. When they get the exile tax, it's already spent. So they're just like us out here living paycheck to paycheck.
Sean, what did
I get these guys to listen?
Sean, what did this man right here do? What did this one person do right here? Remember all the crap we were all talking about non-domicile, and then this man went and found a bunch of facts. He literally silenced the entire internet within like a week. Am I right? One guy, one person. So what can 2,000 do or 5,000 do? Thank you for the harmony.
So I wanted honestly, to be honest with you guys, I was swiping and I bumped into your live of the day. What are you guys talking about?
We're talking about you, bro.
If I could just share my story. So when I came into this whole non-domicile situation, right? I've never been an activist. I've never been anything with politics. Pretty much my license was in jeopardy, and I was involved. And little by little, when I started all this, everybody was like, it's just you against the government. It's just you. You're not gonna get nowhere. It's not worth it. So right now, dude, at my point, I went up to Sean Duffy. I went up to Derek Bars. I went up to Oida. I went up to ATU, just an immigrant, dude, just a Mexican immigrant. That at the end of the day, dude, I wasn't over here talking crap on TikTok all day. I went up to the people's faces, and to me, the fact that they had to put people in front of me, they had to block me from talking to Duffy, that I had to send somebody else. I was like, oh shit, they know who I am. Here you were. Let me say something. At the end of the day, even if they take my CPO away, you cannot say that I did everything possible to get this shit done. And at the end of the day, I've made so many friends. I've made so many contacts.
They didn't take your product.
Dude, it's just damn. Like the amount of stuff. If you really believe in something, you'll get it done. Obviously, at first it's gonna be like, it's a different scenario, right? Obviously, I was fighting for my license. You guys are fighting for a whole, the trucking industry. It's a different topic, but it's kind of the same. What I'm trying to say is that if you really do it, if you really put your fucking, what's it called, determination, it's possible. It sounds unlikely, but it's possible.
Right.
And the stuff that I've made, even like when I started talking to Vince at first, like when I first met that guy, I saw Vince the first time. He was a guy with a freaking white shirt and a tie. The first time I saw him, and I just hopped onto his live, and he's like, non-domiciles, and I just little by little I started talking. And yes, it takes time, but I started changing.
But you came with facts, bro. It wasn't your feelings or what you thought. It was facts. You brought facts. That's how you change hearts and minds, right? I didn't mean to interrupt. Sorry.
Oh yeah. So at the end of the day, even if they take my CDR, right? At the end of the day, now you guys know who I am, and you can't. I think I won a lot of respect. Everybody complains, and we went up to Sean Duffy and Derek Bars to their face, and Bonehead Truckers. He was talking a lot of crap. I went up to that guy's face too. Oh no, we're not talking about you. Oh okay. All of a sudden, people change their minds when they're in front of their faces, And at the end of the day, people talk, and that's it.
Right. It's funny how.
Good thing you weren't listening to people who told you there was nothing you could do.
And you're going to get that all the time anyway.
Yeah, I sued at CSA there. You're wasting your time, and I got the rule for the first time. We're working on getting paused again. And all I'm saying is, like, the hypocrisy. They're saying they want only English, and then that MATTS, they're giving out these freaking flyers with English on one side and Chinese on the other. What the hell is this? What's that about? So yeah, FMCSA is hypocrite, and FMCSA is an organization. At the end of the day, these guys are somebody's pulling strings and somebody's making money, and people think that FMCSA and these government agencies are looking out for everyday Americans. They're not. They're looking out for sponsors and lobbyists and big organizations. And that's the truth.
Yeah.
Right.
The people that have the money. That's the problem. Is all these little advocacy groups, just like Truckers Unite now, has no money. And guess what? You don't have money, you're not going to have a voice.
How do you know I don't have money? Maybe I'm a billionaire.
Right, Sean, you obviously don't understand how everything works in politics.
Oh, I do. I have a bunch of people in politics. I even ran for county commissioner. I even changed the law in my town, bud. I made a safety ordinance. I've made road agreements. I've done tons of stuff that comes into politics. Trust me. You go look and Google my name. If you're gonna talk about somebody, do some research on them before you say, "Hey, you don't know." That's what I keep telling people. George, how many people you think told you no this whole adventure you've been with?
A lot. You know what's funny? A lot of people that I reached out to at first, they're like, no, you're wasting your time. And then right now that it's happening, they're like, oh, my buddy George. I'm like, no, fuck. like, no, we're not buddies. Like
Now we.
I'm sorry to language it, but it is what it is. And I'm like, oh yeah, my buddy George. And nah. When I reached out to you, you said, don't waste your time. And now all of a sudden, because we spoke one time, we're buddies. Like, no, we're not. And it's like people are not trying to tag along, and even the media right now. Like, so I did a interview with Freight Waves. So with Freight Waves, check it out. This is what happened with Freight Waves with Charles Gracie. Charles Gracie, that brake check guy. It took me a while to get onto his podcast, and he's like, I had to talk to him, and I was telling him my story. That, you know what, bro, I'm gonna give you 15 minutes. So I spoke to him, and then what happened? His freaking his podcast got a bunch of reactions, right? And man, I got a restriction here. What did I say? Damn, TikTok's so sensitive now.
George Rivera does not comply with the community guidelines. What did you say?
So sensitive.
See, you didn't even say anything.
There's definitely instances where
I guess I dropped an F-bomb.
the solution can overcome
That doesn't
the money
matter.
problem.
I guess
With your influence and who you know as well.
Yeah, so what I was saying is that at Freight Waves, the podcast that I did, they got a bunch of reactions and impressions. They called me yesterday. They're like, "Hey man, we want to get you on there again because a lot of people want to talk to you." Like, oh, now you want me on there? You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
I'll drop down, dude, because they restricted me, and I don't want to ruin your life, so I'll just drop down. But thanks for having me on.
Right on, bro. Thanks, Jorge. Later. All right, let's see. Let's get a trucking fact in there. Over 5% of the United States jobs are tied to trucking logistics. What do y'all think of that? 5%.
Those are the numbers that we need to make a change. That's a lot.
That's huge. Over 5% of all United States jobs are tied to the trucking industry. That's right. Yeah, you know what, Sean? We're gonna. How many?
20 million.
Wow. That's crazy. Well, so we wonder why there's so much corruption and so much gaslighting and so much craziness and how did truck drivers become so against each other and all this stuff that has been happening for 30 years. Well, we've been brainwashed. We've been programmed, right? We have to unprogram our brains and start loving one another again, start helping one another again, start being brothers, and now we have sisters in the industry, right? And we're doing it right here every day. Oh boy, everybody went quiet. All right, let's see what Chris has to say. TellyDB says it's all about the money. Well, that's a big problem. Right now, that is a big problem. It's all about the money, but it shouldn't be all about the money because money is 5% of a healthy person. Money is 5% of their life. Money is not everything. Money's just a tool like any other tool, just like a hammer or anything else. Where'd Chris go? Let's get Chris up here.
Well, it's also about who you know in your sphere of influence and how you present the facts. the professionalism of your approach. I
Absolutely.
mean, I could tell you about back when I was with CDL Drivers Unlimited with Lee and Lisa Schmidt, and we were able to have committee meetings with Josh Burkeen to work against the speed limiters when that was a really hot topic, and that was upon us. We got that shit squashed. We were able to network, and we were able to present the facts to get to Josh Burkeen. He had a trucking background in the livestock industry, so he came from that. He came from being a part of us, put all the facts together. He was able to present it, and we were able to get the speed limiters blocked.
Wow.
From FMCSA trying to put that rule through. We didn't put, and you know what? There wasn't any money exchanged to make that happen.
Well,
So,
look at that.
Right now.
Look at the cow haulers, the agricultural exemption that they got because they all stuck together. Look at that, right? Complete exemptions
Right.
across the board
We
because they.
leveraged that whole point.
Yeah.
And that wasn't even that many people. I mean, look at the cattle hauler side of it. If you look at the numbers of that, you know, that's a little number.
Right. That's what I was getting at. Don, your point right there.
Yep. And it don't take much. And that's the thing. Like, if we want to change the whole industry, you get the whole industry together. Yeah, absolutely. Strategy.
It's possible.
Say, hey, you know what? We want to talk. We want these fixed. It's very possible.
You know what?
In certain situations, can money grease the hinges? Oh, sure.
Yeah, it helps, but
it doesn't always mean that that's what's going to be the deciding factor. If the proper strategy is in place to put the nails in their coffin.
That's right. Now you're thinking. I mean, exactly. That's the name of the game. So, like I keep saying, if you look at what do they want? They don't want nothing about, they don't care much about us. They want the money, right? That's what it is. It's all like, hey, put your money into the trust, put your money into the trust, put your money in the trust. And now they have made a mistake and have emptied the trust out for our infrastructure build because they were spending it on stuff that was not infrastructure related. So now they're like, hey, you know what? We got to go up on your taxes. We got to make another one. We got to make another one because of wasteful spending that they did. We're the ones that's paying it. And it's at a time where we say, hey, you know what? If we don't come up with an agreement, we're no longer going to, submit to your guys' your funds there until we have an agreement. And it could be, all it has to be is talked about. It only takes, I would say, out of this whole industry, it'd probably take about 5% of the people to say, hey, you know what? We're no longer going to stand up for this. You're going to spend the money, what you collected for, and you're going to spend it to where it's supposed to go to and not whatever pet fund you want it to go to.
Yeah. And another way about like how unity can also work, and this was another project that we had going on at CDLDU, is we had broken down all the different issues of the industry, and we were trying to get them into actually each issue was its own separate committee, and then finding drivers that had the expertise, the knowledge, and background that they could talk with authority about that issue, where they could then come together, make a solution to present to the group as a whole. You know what I'm saying? Like, break it down. And that's one way. Where versus you have it where everybody's got to come together around truck parking. Everybody's got to come together around transparency. Then you know what? That's how the autonomous is going to win because everybody's fighting each other. Like everybody was so focused on the non-domicile shit. I was over here shadow banned on TikTok going, guys, we're not talking autonomous. Like, what's going on?
Right. What about the AI?
You're distracted.
What about the AI? Yep.
Right.
And that's how they work.
Distracted.
And that's our thought.
Strategy.
Yep. And that's our thought. Like there's good advocates out here that's actually wanting good change. So we let them continue to do what they're doing, like try to get that change. But if we, at the end of it, when it's coming to sit at the table, everybody has a chair at that table, discuss the problems. Like you said.
That's right.
Vince and I couldn't go through all the problems and say, hey, you know what, we can fix it. But what we can do right now as one is actually getting people to bond together and say, hey, you know what? These are the problems in the industry, and this is why I like get fixed. Now we can put all that in a microphone, like I keep saying, and put it in a microphone and actually speak out with what everybody wants, what they really, really need. Because all we're going by is advocates. Like you said, they're looking at one thing, transparency. The other one's looking at, broker fraud. But are they actually listening to every single person in this industry of what they want changed? No, because they're focused on this one thing.
That's right.
Hi, Trucker United. I want to say something, bro.
Yeah, how's it going, Oz? Welcome in. How you doing tonight?
Speak your rep.
Good, man. Sorry. Like, it's really, might be my accent is really hard for you guys, but
Nope.
I watch your videos. You're doing really good thing, bro. Like, no hate for anybody. Like, I had a non-domicile license for 10 years, and I'm waiting for my pending asylum for a while. I have my house. I have 2 trucks, but they took my license off, you know? So, like, everything is messed up. I know that, like, somebody make a mistake, but I feel like this way, like, not everybody is responsible for that. And I watch your videos, you try to support us, and that's what I want to say, man. Really appreciate for that, what you're doing.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Like, yeah, I know that. Like that. Yeah, 2 Indian people. I'm Indian too, bro. But like 2 Indian guys done a mistakes. But like there's a lot of other people in the market who done the same mistake as well. But
That's right.
because of the skin color, you know, you never come to know about that kind of news, you know.
Right,
But like
right.
think about the people who are in here for like a long, long time, you know, just waiting for their green cards, waiting for their citizenship, and still they are struggling, you know. So we also have installments to pay. We also have like I have 3 kids, but I'm lucky that my wife is working, so I can survive it. But there's a lot of people who are like who they have only like a single income in their house, you know. So yeah, that's what I want to say. Like there should be no hate according to your race or your color. Yeah, I need like look at this way, when there was a coronavirus going on, they just bent down the rules, you know, so they just allow everybody to have the license, you know.
Right.
When everything was just normalized, then they just tighten up the rules. So yeah, that's what I want to say. Like, but you're doing really good job, bro. No hate for anybody. You are the one, bro. All right.
Thank you,
Really
man.
appreciate for your efforts, man.
I appreciate that,
God
Oz.
bless
Thank
you,
you.
bro.
God bless you too, and
Roger.
I wish the best for your family. I hope that you do get your license back soon. I know a lot of immigrants that have come here legally that, you know, they have 10, 20 trucks. They love America more than some Americans. You know what I mean? They do a great job. They're safe. They do their preventative maintenance. And that's what we're trying to spread, man. If you love the trucking industry, just get involved where you can and help people that truly love this industry, that do this because it's their life, you know, not just for a job, not just to make money, because money is not everything, right? And it's what we have to really be careful of is the people that are in office, that we allow to be in office, that are our employees, and this is my opinion only. I feel like we're being used a lot of the time and we're being played against each other. And in the trucking industry, especially, we are being played against each other constantly. So enough. We are brothers and sisters. If you're a driver, a carrier, a broker, an insurance person, you're a good, decent person, you're a patriot, you love this country, then you're in, you know what I mean? And we have to band together because, like it or not, we are like a family. So we have to save our industry. We have to, you know, stop allow all this bullshit,
I
man.
think like this way. Yeah, definitely. I like think like this way. Like 3-4 years ago, I make a complaint to FMCA about that about one of the truck schools in California who giving like a fraudulent license to everybody. I make like a complaint like 4 or 5 times about 5 schools.
Awesome.
They didn't took any action, you know.
Right.
If they do it on the first time, so might be this thing not going to be happen, you know. I was in Australia for 2-3 years. So how Australian people, like how that they work, they allow you to drive like class A for 1 year, then they allow you to drive like they allow you to drive class C or B for 1 year, and they allow you to drive class A after that. You know,
You have to
that,
prove
like,
yourself.
I feel like this way,
Yeah.
you need to reach like yeah, you have to prove yourself. You know, I feel like this way, like class B and class C, like 26 feeder or more than that, they are more harder to drive as compared to truck and trailer because they don't have a like you have to make sure that you're making the right turns and everything. So you just
Right.
get to go to the roads, you know.
That's
So
smart.
4 years ago, I make a complaint about 3 truck schools to FMCA, but they didn't took any action, not even a single action, you know. So
Right.
at the end of the day, those truck schools providing the license to these kind of people who like who
creating a bad names for every immigrants. You know what I mean to say, bro?
Yep,
So
I do.
like, at the end of the day, who getting suffered from that shit? Like me or the person who's been in this industry for 12 years, 11 years, who don't have a green card, still waiting for that. They're getting like suffered from that stuff. So that's what I want to say, bro.
Right. Well, join us, man. You know,
I've been to Kentucky as well. Like when they had a truck show over there, I asked the same question. I asked the same question to to our to our to our minister, like FMC. Well, I forgot his name, Sean Duffy.
Yeah,
I asked
yeah.
him the same question. Yeah, I asked him, but bro, the way he responds me back, it feel like he's fucking racial, bro. I'm telling you. The way he
Really?
responds me, I feel like he's like, yeah, man. He said, I don't care about anybody. He's not like on my face, bro. I was like not talking in front of everybody, but just like talking on the back. I said, man, I've been here for 10 years. I'm doing like a right things. I never had an accident, never had any kind of complaints from the broker or anything. But still, I lost my license. I have installments to pay. He said, I understand what you're saying, but we don't care. We need to get like a bad drivers out of the way. I said, like, how could you make me like? How could you like? You have to draw a line, you know.
Hold the individual accountable, not the group, not Indians, just bad drivers.
Instead, they could be focusing on were people getting the proper training credentials, regardless of what race.
Fixing the problem. Putting the flame out. You know, they're putting water on the smoke right now and saying, hey, we're putting it out.
I want to talk a little bit more, and it's something kind of different, but along the same lines of what Oz was talking about. This is back when I had to get my CDL in 2022. You know, and I had no idea that the automatic restriction was even a thing until I was like faced with it in the school, and I'm like, wait a second. You know, you guys are all involved with, and I started figuring out about like the ATA and how they control the whole thing, and it's like it's just a control mechanism so you guys can control the pool of drivers.
That's right.
But you're not allowing them to be like, they literally let us use a manual truck on the lot, and I showed them I could do it because my dad was a trucker. He showed me, and I used to be able to roll with him. And I showed him, and then on test, they're like, oh no, you can't use that truck. And I was like, why? And they were like, well, do you want the job? And I'm like, well, why? Like, why?
Yeah.
And then they're like, well, you know, this is the way we do it, and the restriction's going to be on your license. I'm like, what restriction? Whoa, what are you talking about? Started researching it, figured out the ATA and how they were doing that through the schools. I called up FMCSA and I said, I think that this is something that they're doing to fraudulently keep the pool of drivers within their network to control the narrative around the driver shortage. And that's when Lee and Lisa started seeing what I was saying, and everything was coming up with that. And I was like, wait, this is a control mechanism. Like, and I started calling it out.
Yeah.
Because they're not focusing on making sure that the training is standardized for safety. Safety is for sale. And FMCSA is at the head of that sale.
And then they throw these human beings under the bus.
That with the ATA.
Yeah.
And the conflicts of interest within the FMCSA.
Right.
Well, that's the problem. That's what we got to call out is a conflict of interest, because there's
I understand why this is. Here's where this is where it's going to get switched around. Okay, if they can control the safety mechanism and they can make it appear, they can make safety appear whatever it is. That's once automation technology is completed, that's the narrative they will use to say, oh, we're going to make it safe by making everything on the network. Do you not understand their agenda?
Mm-hmm.
Do you not see what they're doing? They control it on purpose. None of this is by accident. This is, and it's for, what's it all for? It's to perpetuate that technology, to perpetuate corporate greed, because this is how right stage capitalism works, ladies and gentlemen.
They avoid all questions on like cybersecurity for those autonomous trucks. And it's like, I mean, like Gordon and I, we came to the same conclusion that the next 9/11 is not going to require a driver or pilot. Because if they don't double down on that cybersecurity, those things can be hacked and turned into weapons.
I didn't even think about that. Yes.
12-year-old child.
Which is what they were using for non-domicile. They were saying that, you know, these guys are hauling hazmat, they're doing this, they're doing that. Well, yeah, they're gonna allow it to go this direction, and it's insane. Like I keep telling people, like if you don't open up your eyes now, it's gonna be too late to ever open your eyes up. That these people are putting money in their pocket on our agenda and on our dime and on our time, and we're supposed to just sit here and go, okay, well, I think they're gonna fix the problem. Instead, they ain't even doing it. You know,
We don't
like
have enough solution.
well, and that's the thing. Like, I don't think it really would take much, you know, for the solution to be for it to fix itself. It's just getting the fraud out first. You know, they keep on saying, "Oh, it's fraud, it's fraud, it's fraud," because that's what they want you to tack on. But where's the numbers at? You know, they're saying, "Oh, it's safety," and I keep telling people, I'm like, "Is it really safety? Have we even?" And look at our infrastructure. Are these accidents being created? If somebody did not go to that scene and see where the accident was at, and there's this big old giant pothole that the guy hit it and it bounced him 10 feet into the other oncoming lane. You know, it's all like, where's the studies at? Because right now, the studies we have, you can't even, you can wipe them with toilet paper pretty much because it's what they want. And we're paying 200 million, 300 million, 400 million dollars for a study to a college that they're getting interest off of it.
Yep.
You know, they're like, hey, you know what? Give us these numbers so we can make our agenda pass through. And I'm being dead serious. I research so much every day. I